When did Lawton Tube start?
So I'm fourth generation. So I'm running the business with my brother and my cousin. And our fifth generation, Patrick, so he's got to be in his 30s. He's joined the business, so the legacy carries on. And the business started in 1917, but then didn't get registered and limited until 1920. Yeah, so it's over 100 and something odd years old.
Some of the times I've been on site sometimes till like 10:30 at night trying to sort stuff out because things have been gone wrong, and I just think, why am I doing this? But if you work for a company doing it, if you go to work for a company and then you come home and you forget about it, you switch off, don't you?
Yeah.
It's all right. But when you're self-employed, not just plumbing, but any trade job really, you're thinking about the next client, you're thinking about the next job you're going to. As a constant, you're constantly working, your mind's constantly working for your job.
How does that affect you in terms of the copper prices always fluctuate, or metal prices in general? Does that...
We're very transparent on that. So on our website, for example, we track what they call the LME, which is the London Metal Exchange. And it's like stocks and shares, metal, whether it be a semi-precious metal like copper, or whether it's gold or diamonds, even cotton is traded on the stock exchange. And so the price is dictated by what's happening in the world. And we have no control over that. Nobody does. So a war or a flood or something new to the market like electric cars will have an impact on the price of copper.
So, welcome to Off the Job, the trade podcast. We have some special guests there. I said to him,
Can I just say again, you always say one special, so can you say something different?
all right, we have two coppers in. I don't know. What do you want? They said, what, do you want us to bring you anything down? I said, yeah, bring us a tea.
Cup of tea.
I mean, a cup of tea. He brought this bad boy in. So, welcome to Rob Lawton and PB Plumber, Peter Booth.
Thank you for coming
Thanks
down.
for coming out.
Right, thank you very much for having us.
Sharing some, you're going to share some knowledge with us about the old copper industry, aren't you?
I would try.
Eh?
Try and tap into my brain.
Yeah, you're like, you're very passionate about it, aren't you? Hence why you've given me this as a present. Thank you very much.
I've only got 40 of these in the UK.
40?
40.
Is that it?
Yeah.
What
You've got 39 now, isn't it?
Have a guess what you think that weighs.
I'd say that weighs 20 kilos.
Yeah, not far off, 18. And what do you reckon that's worth? So you got the scrap value and what it would retail at.
Retail, I'd say £1,000.
You've been watching too many of my other shows, haven't you?
No, you told me before.
Oh, did he?
What's it in scrap value? What's it in scrap value then?
18 kilos. So come on, it's what, £7 a kilo, something like that.
Is it £7 a kilo?
It's not bad, is it?
Is it?
Well, no, it's probably
clean.
slightly less, 5 to 6. Depends where you go.
Yeah.
Depends what your relationship is with your scrap man.
Very good. Very good.
But that's a good point, isn't it? Because copper never goes into landfill, does it? It always goes into your back of your van for your Christmas,
Recycling.
whatever you're going to do, or recycle it. Or a question I've always wanted to ask is the scrap that you take out of someone's house. Do you knock that off the quote when you're doing a quote, or is it literally?
Never do
No.
that.
Do you not?
No,
But
why
there's
would
a
you
little
do
bit
that?
thing because me and my mate done a
That's probably the profit on
we
the job.
done a post on it, right? Me and Al Street said we done just a little one, taking a cylinder out of a property, and then the homeowner coming in and go, oh, thanks for getting that out. I wanted to use that as a water feature in the garden, right? So
No, you could use it as a water butt.
that went mental on Facebook, right? And the amount of arguments on there about people saying that's theft. Do you know what I mean? Saying you should be putting that on your invoice or blah. A lot of them was Americans, right?
Yeah.
But we know in this country it's sort of like an unwritten rule that the plumber takes the scrap out. I mean, I generally do now ask them, do you want me to get rid of this for you? Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'll scrap it.
But it's already in your van.
It's worth £2. Like,
But copper cylinder, right? That would be lagged, so no one's going to want that. But a water tank, I had a copper water tank, so it's literally what, 4 sheets of copper. You could use that in the garden. You could use that, you know.
yeah.
Good feature.
Well, some people want to make I've seen people make things out of these cylinders, like minions. They've made what else they made out of them? What's the robot in Star Wars? R2D2s? Have you seen them? Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it?
Wow.
It's pretty cool. But not me. I just sling it in the scrappy and get 40 quid for it. I think that's what they give you.
So the argument is copper's more expensive than plastic, but no one ever takes into account the scrap value that you're going to get from the job that you're going to fit.
No.
And there's another thing I think is you fit and forget. You don't. I shouldn't touch the table. You do fit and forget. So when you've done a job in copper, you probably ain't going to have to go back to reconcile any issues that you've got. Whereas
unless you use too much flux.
Unless you maybe not flushed
That
out
takes
properly.
years, wiping it off properly and all that. Yeah.
Your Instagram joint making.
No, I don't do that.
Don't you?
No.
You have. I've seen you do it.
I don't. Long time ago, not anymore.
So when did Lawton Tube start?
So I'm fourth generation.
Yeah.
So I'm running the business with my brother and my cousin. And we recently acquired a new business, which we can talk about, about a year or so ago. And our fifth generation, Patrick, so he's got to be in his 30s. He's joined the business, so the legacy carries on.
Yeah.
Because they always say, is it second generation, sell it, and the third, or something like that? I don't know,
I'm
but
not
we're into the fifth. So, and the business started in 1917, but then didn't get registered and limited until 1920. So, so it's over 100 and something odd years
So
old.
your great grandfather
My is it my great grandfather? So it'd
How's
be
he going to know?
I'm not going to. I don't know your family tree, mate.
Fourth generation, it doesn't matter whose family tree it is.
Great grandfather.
Yeah, something like that.
Your great
Albert, his name was.
He started
I
it.
should have brought a picture.
How did he start it then?
So he used to work in Birmingham for a brass company.
You know the Peaky Blinders.
He probably did. It was about that era, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I've got a razor blade in one of those. No, I haven't. And then he decided enough's enough. I fancy setting a bit entrepreneurial, so it sort of obviously runs in the family. And he wanted to go and set his own business up. And back in those days, moving to Coventry was quite a trek, whereas because it's a 20-minute drive now. But he had to get out of the city to go to another city because Birmingham, and it's still very much an industrial area. Birmingham, there's a lot of metalwork still going on. He thought, well, I've got to get away from the people I worked with. So he set up with a partner in Coventry making brass and copper, mainly for the car industry. Because if you go way back, unlike
Cars were big back
today,
then.
Did they
cars
use
were made
copper for
properly.
plumbing?
You had a horse head on the front or whatever, and everything was made out of brass and copper. Obviously, time goes on, it's all aluminium, fiberglass, God knows what else is in it. But it's not copper and brass. So we've diversified over the generations away from making for the car industry, and Jaguar's still there. Jaguar Land Rover's still in Coventry, but we're now 65% in the plumbing and heating market.
Finally, that's like I'd have thought it'd
In
been
the
more.
UK, well,
Okay.
there's two main players, and we're one of them. And 65% of our business is still
It's
plumbing and heating.
Do you make wire for their Sparkies?
No, that's one thing we don't do is wire. Slightly different process in manufacture, and wire is a big thing. It's the biggest use of copper. Is wire. If you imagine your diesel electric car, you've probably got 10, 15 kilos of copper wire in it. Electric car, which is supposedly the future, there's 120 kilos.
Yeah.
So if you imagine every country in the world all going for electric car, that's going to put a lot of pressure on copper as a material. But thankfully, it's not a resource that's ever going to run out anytime soon from coming out of the ground, and the fact that it's 100% recycled.
Yeah.
So you can take a copper tube. I've only got a square one there, but once you fit a job and you scrap out what you want to cut out, that will go to the scrap man. Scrap man will then sell it, gets melted down, sent back into a billet about the same size as that tea, and they call that infinitely recyclable. So you can just keep making the same material over and over again without any loss of quality. So because it's 99.9% pure copper, is the tube that you're doing. So you can just keep recycling it forever.
So what's the other industries other than plumbing?
What's that?
Air conditioning.
Right.
So in the UK, obviously it rains a lot. So air conditioning is not as big a market as it is, say, in Europe or the Middle
branched
East.
out to Australia.
We go as far as New Zealand, actually. 42 countries we ship to now.
Yeah.
So we do air conditioning, and we supply all the independents and big boys, all the big nationals, like we do in plumbing and heating. Same sort of setup through merchants and distribution. Then we also do medical gas. So if you think about COVID, which was a horrible time for everybody in their lives, the producing of oxygen or storing of oxygen away from a hospital or away from one of the nightingales. Do you remember the nightingales who exhale and NEC? Well, you can't put a very flammable gas right next to where you want to use. So you've got to have a distance. And I think at the NEC, for example, it was 18 kilometres of 108 mil we put in 2 weeks. They had to draft the army in because everybody was off. And we were helping people in the trade that weren't doing any work, you know, self-employed people weren't getting paid.
I think a lot of them were doing TikTok dances and things.
Were they? Seen some of that. So we encouraged people by helping out the local population where we could to get jobs to help fit these hospital jobs. The army came in. We did 18 kilometres just in the NEC of 108. And that carries oxygen from wherever the oxygen's made or stored all the way up to the patient's bed. You know, you get a bit of plastic that goes up your nose. Yeah. Well, you stick that in an outlet in a wall. Behind the wall is all copper. Why is it all copper? Because it's antimicrobial. So once you touch copper, it kills germs dead. Any fungi, any virus. So even COVID, it would kill you within 24 hours, 48 hours. Please don't quote me on that. But within a couple of days, it would have killed COVID. So it's a perfect medium for carrying your drinking water, something you want to breathe through, or something you want to have in your supermarket.
Tell you what, you are proper passionate about this. He's more passionate about copper than I am about plumbing, isn't it? You know what I mean? He knows his stuff.
21 years, mate. That's
when was the transition out the car market to plumbing? Like,
so it would have been when
heating boom.
Heating boom. Cars became, I think, probably in the 20s and 30s, wouldn't it? It'd be when they started moving away for state
Would it be something to do with when they realised lead's poisonous? And
that would have been in plumbing, and
in
they still get plumbing
when
systems,
did you start
don't you?
plumbing? When did the company start moving over to plumbing?
But what I'm saying, the heating boom was probably in like the 80s, wasn't it? When people was really going.
And there was a shortage of copper, if I remember.
And it got shipped out from like European countries, didn't it? And there was a lot of it that you find a lot of as pinholing quite a lot.
So that, did they increase the nickel content because there was a shortage of copper? Is that right?
They was cutting it up with other stuff, were they?
Yeah. I think the problem you had was quite a few different reasons, isn't there? So in Europe,
just tell us the truth.
That's all I ever tell you, Pete. I never know. Hearts,
because you'll find stuff that's from that period. You get loads of little green pinholes all throughout it.
I think there was a period of time because there was a copper shortage. It was grab anything from anywhere, and like anything, you know, whether you're buying a pen or whether you're buying a car, there's different levels of quality. Yeah, you'll get some people that make a good quality product. You'll get some people that don't, and also the guys fitting it probably weren't as well trained now. I don't know.
Passing the buck.
So you've got a combination of factors.
Did you hear that? He's saying you old school plumbers were all shit.
Can I just while we're talk about blaming the plumbers? There's a thing on Instagram at the minute that's really pissing me off, and I don't really want to say anything because I don't want to upset anyone, but I'm just going to say it now. But cause a bit of controversy. So many videos, soldering videos, tutorials.
Yeah.
As soon as they finish soldering it, they cool it down.
Oh yeah.
Now, if you ever go to a job and you're ripping out and the pipe comes out the fitting, you think, how the hell is that ever old water? That's because whoever did that cooled it down. You should never cool it down. Just let it do it naturally.
I saw that the other day.
But everyone's doing it. There's tutorial videos how to solder. They're doing it wrong.
Sizzle. They like to see it sizzle.
I actually done that.
I done it yesterday.
You would do it if you were if the job was. Come on, I'd swear.
Yeah.
If the job was being an absolute bitch and you were starving and hungry, you wanted to get home, and it was under a kitchen unit, and you just wanted to know that the solder would run, you'd probably put some flux on because then you can see.
Yeah.
That is when I would do it. But normal soldering, especially if you're doing a tutorial video on how to solder, you're teaching people to do it wrong.
You're meant to leave.
What does that cause then if you don't?
It weakens the joint because the solder needs to cool naturally.
It's cooled too quickly. Okay.
Yeah. It's a dry joint. They call it, don't they?
Yeah. So you'll see people. They go to a job that they're ripping out, and the pipe will just pull straight out the elbow, and you think, oh, if I'd have soldered that, it would have leaked. But the reason it's doing it is because they've cooled it down prematurely, and so many people doing it, and it's just
it's aggravating. You can see.
And talking obviously,
he's got a moustache out of anger.
But if you want to do an educational video on how to do something, make sure you're teaching them to do it right.
yeah.
But they might actually not know.
But no, I think a lot of people
They
do
might
it
know
though.
what you're saying.
But a lot of people probably do know, but they're doing it, so people comment on it. Like,
Maybe.
you know what I mean? Who go, you know what I mean? But my mate, actually, this is true, right? He'd used to say to me, right? He'd go, "Oh, can you pass me my cooling rag?" I went, "What?
Yeah.
What do you mean a cooling rag?" Like, a cooling rag? Oh, no, that's a fucking flux rag. That's for cleaning the flux off, not to cool the joint down. Do you know what I mean? But he'd be like, water. And I'm like,
Steam coming
not
off
really
of it.
when we're doing that. You know what I mean? But yeah, just
So how long should you leave a joint?
till it's
till
cold.
then? What, touch it?
So you
And
can
so-
put your tongue on it.
Yeah, I do until it don't fizz. Right, we can touch it now. No, I'm guilty of it. I do it when I'm in a rush. You've jumped onto social media of late, which is a new like. You know,
3 years ago, I think
yeah.
we've been.
Have you noticed any like? Has that improved growth in the business? Do you think? Has it?
So we're not selling anything online, and I think we do less than what other manufacturers do. We're not necessarily pushing a product.
Well, you're the only tube company I know online,
social
or
media,
I'm
but-
aware of online. Do you know what I
that's
mean?
good.
Do you know what I mean?
and you
So-
only use our products as well.
well,
right?
yeah, of course, yeah.
Excellent.
Check his van. Check
I'm
his
going to do that later.
Listen,
actually.
listen, right, wait, listen. I was having this conversation earlier. It was like if I'm in a tube, in a merchant's, this is the thing in it, on how you're advertising your product or making yourself known. But if I'm in a merchant,
You just asked for 15.
I just asked 15mm tube, didn't I?
Exactly. That's always been the case.
Do you know what I mean?
Used to be, I'll have a bit or a Yorkshire elbow. Do you remember back in the days?
yeah.
Everybody used
Yorkshire
to ask
fit,
for
Yorkshire
Yorkshire
fit,
fittings.
Yeah.
But I think what you'll find these days is people, when they do get Lawton Tube, they'll tag you in a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to think that people embrace
what
I'll
what
tag
we're
you in a
doing.
story even if it's not yours.
That's why I don't like or share it.
That's not mine.
No, to be honest, I do. So we're 50% of the market on plumbing.
Yeah.
And there's two of us in the main that supply. And you know what? As long as you're using copper, that's all I really care about. Whether you're using mine or something, I'm not here to rubbish anybody else's product. I think all product in copper is very similar in terms of manufacture. It's 99.9% pure. It would originally come from the ground. It's not an overly complicated product. Yeah, there's standards and cleanliness and all that sort of jazz. So I'm happy that people are just using copper, and I think that's where Pete and I are doing really well. Is promoting and more about traditional plumbing, so bending rather than pressing. But do you know what? We're going to be doing press fittings. This is a bit of a sort of exclusive for you, if you like. So by the summer, we're going to be launching our own range of press fittings. So
You might have to send me a few of them.
you're going to become one of our ambassadors.
I need someone to send me a press gun as well.
Oh, any particular brand of press gun?
Well, you got a Lawton one, have
I
you?
don't know. I'm not. You got my brain thinking, but no, I don't.
Is that the company you've acquired, or is that something different?
No, it's just adding on to the range we've already got. So we already do compression, we already do soldering, and we already do end feed. Not necessarily under our own brand. We do merchants' own branded product. Not going to tell you who they are because that's not down to us. But we certainly do promote a Lawton product, and especially when you go overseas, they love the branding on everything. So we everything's branded Lawton. It's a one-stop shop.
Got your little face on it.
Got my little face,
like
Copper
you
Man.
say.
I personally sign every shipment that goes out. No. God, imagine if I did that.
You thought about it.
I could charge more.
You
for
thought about
eh?
it, didn't you?
Could I?
You thought about it.
Put a little Copper Man sticker in. We've been doing it 3 years. We like traditional plumbing. We've embraced press. I mean, Pete does quite a lot of work on press fittings, don't you?
Yeah. I think people will say press takes the skill out of it because soldering is a skill. But
We're still getting it wrong, though, aren't
but
we?
also I think if you're gonna
you get pressing
call press like a DIY, you like you just said, you wouldn't expect a DIY guy who's just doing a couple of plumbing jobs to invest in a press tool priced out of it. So I don't think it is a DIY.
Saying I'm a DIY man because I ain't got press.
I've got two.
But do you know what? Press is actually the saviour to some degree of why
Do you know
copper is such a used product in the UK?
I like press. Yeah, do
It
you know
could
what?
keep copper going rather than plastic.
If I could afford
You
one,
got it.
If I could actually say at the moment, do you know what? I'm going to use that gun a lot. I just don't at the moment, and I can't say that spending out whatever 1,500 quid is it for a setup.
It depends what we do, because, like, you know, we're both gas engineers, both plumbers.
Yeah.
What you do day to day, what I do day to day, what the next guy does day to day is totally different.
Yeah.
Some of us do bathrooms, some of us it's breakdowns.
But I like it. But I don't. People rubbish it in the domestic sector, but I think to myself, but in a loft, come on, it's like a saviour, isn't it? Who wants to be burning in a
It's
loft?
safer as well, and it can get you out of trouble. If you've still got water in the pipe, you can't get it all out.
that as well. I mean, I did have one like last year. I borrowed it off of VCA when I was working for them, and I was using it. And where you'd like have to wait ages for something to drain down, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? You're just going to press it. Like, what? I don't see why people are rubbishing it when it's just.
No, it's different scenarios, isn't it? It
Yeah.
can help you out in different. You might not want to use it all the time, but
It's just innovative, isn't it? Anything innovative, like people.
Well, you'll find also Hotworks is becoming a big no-no.
Yeah.
So if you do more commercial work, schools, hospitals, those sort of jobs,
Probably turn it to
they
press,
don't want you doing Hotworks. There's a lot of prefab work. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that. So there's businesses set up. Even some of the national merchants have set up in previous years prefabrication, off-site prefab work, where all the electrics, the plumbing, everything's done off-site, and then they modular build it on-site. So something like that for press is perfect.
Yeah.
There's certain things you can't do. I mean, there's a whole.
Press that.
Sadly, no.
It's going to be that size.
Do you imagine a gun? Takes you a while.
Massive.
do they actually use them? You say there's only how many in the?
I've got 40 in stock.
40, yeah.
So that would have
What do
been
they use
used.
that
The
for?
Olympic Village in 2012, we did a lot of big size copper because there's lots of buildings all happening at the same time. So
Maybe
it drives the volume of. If you think about a hospital, and,
How big
and
is it? My head's big in
you're
it.
going to put your head in it. That actually suits you.
Is anyone not able to get their head in this?
No, not anyone.
I
no.
reckon Pointy struggled.
Anyone wearing glasses.
We had to lube that one up to get that on him.
So that one you can't use tin solder. So you got your 15mm elbow.
How long does it take to warm that up?
That
to
would
solder
be
it?
Copper rods
brazing
on-
rod.
Yeah, copper
So it's
rods on this
literally
one.
copper melting onto copper. So copper melts at over 1,000 degrees C, whereas your tin solder is 200, something like that. These are only rough numbers. Please, don't write in and tell me what the exact number is. But you can do, but on your channel. So you'd use a brazing rod, about 500 mil long, and you heat it up using a acetylene torch.
We're saying, how long would that take to do that? How
A long
would that
time.
take burning?
You certainly, if you're rushing by cooling down your.
That'd
Yeah.
be right.
I've never actually seen it in real life being brazed, to be honest.
That'd be interesting. Though,
Do you imagine
wouldn't
the tube?
Does
that goes
anyone
with
on
it?
here who
That'd be a
does?
good little video,
Does
wouldn't
anyone
it?
on
Sort of
here
crazy.
who
I'd love
knows
that.
who works with that? What size is that?
219 millimetre.
219 mil copper pipe. Let us know, and we'll send him down, and then he can.
That's the biggest seamless fitting that you can manufacture.
Well, surely, like when they buy it off you, don't you say, "Where are you putting this in?" Don't you say that? Like,
Well, to be honest, most of it goes through distribution and a merchant, so I'm not going to know. But big jobs like that, I will know, which is why I mentioned the Olympic Village.
put a tag on it. Say, look, we want to come down.
Would take hospitals. It'd be big hospital jobs.
Yeah, you want to see it in.
And then you got 219 tube
That would
coming
be
out.
like that would be a video with someone putting that in. That'd be some like people would be interested in that.
They'd be all
wouldn't they?
parked up around
Love
the
to see
corner, wait for the job to finish, and they'll be into.
That'd be a good. I'd like to see a video like that.
Would you?
That'd be cool, yeah.
Be good.
What do I
That's one of the most popular things. We take those to the colleges, so it's on the and they're all talking about it before we even start, and they're all sticking it on their heads, and
Getting his stuff.
everyone wants
The
to
amount
take
of heads that got in there.
Well, it's just trying to find
we don't
a
wash it,
simple
by the way.
product of interest, isn't it? And when you
Does that breed nits? That copper? Is that all right for nits?
antimicrobial, it
Yeah, we're
kills
good.
germs dead.
We're all clean. We're
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's all good.
So when we do the college talks, we take that along, as Pete says, and we talk about where copper comes from and all the things we just mentioned. Take that along. You've got to keep the students engaged. I think too many people go up there, they get a death by PowerPoint, 60 slides about something exciting that they think is. Students, they need to be stimulated.
Concentration now is an issue, isn't it? we witness it all the time, especially with social media. People just can't concentrate or keep fixated.
30 seconds you've got, isn't it? Even if that on a video.
Yeah.
So how did all the training centres start? So what made you get into that?
Hang on a minute.
Go on.
Let's not jump ahead.
Well, they started talking about colleges.
Wait, I know, but I'm getting into like.
It's not all about you, mate.
Wait, no, I'm not making it about me. Right, let's just have a bit of try and structure it. So, like, we know
You're talking structure.
We know they're talking about the old colleges and that, but did you two know each other before social media?
Yeah, we went to school together.
He was a creep outside my gym.
I am now going to the gym.
The caretaker.
Peter's worn me down. We've known each other 3 years, and I'm now in the gym.
No, I did a what was it called? CUSP.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the
copper sustainability project.
Yeah, so we do that in conjunction with our competitor.
Right.
We've. It's all about promoting copper.
Right.
I think we've had enough of people promoting other substitute products.
What would they be?
Yeah, because like you say,
well,
no one really
anything other than
promotes
copper, isn't it?
Anything other than
Yes.
copper?
Basically. So
Plastic.
maybe stainless. There's all sorts of other products out there that you can use.
Stainless. I remember using stainless not me using stainless in the old days, but I remember when I was an apprentice and we had to cut into some stainless mains that was running up in a thing, and then we got the call back because it was temporary stuff. We cut them off, and then we got the call back, didn't we? Because we put push big caps on it. It's all blown off. Yeah. But I ain't had much work doing with stainless, to be honest with you.
It goes in your urinals, doesn't it? I don't know whether it
goes in your urinals.
I don't know if you're like
Yeah,
me,
it does
but
go
do
in
you
your
do you
urinals.
look at the pipework when you go into the toilets, or am I just sad?
Or whose pipe work
Mate,
are you
you're
looking
going
at,
off-
mate? Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
You're going off subject.
Well, I'm not. I was asking
Keeping
him.
the structure.
I was asking him, wasn't I? He's the one talking about people's pipe work, not me.
But yeah, I did. So I did this CUSP thing where they came out and filmed me. It was literally me in a job with copper, and then they showed the process of it going to the scrap and
Right.
being remade into a new piece, and then I fitted it back into that same job.
Ah.
So it's like a full circle, infinitely recyclable video. And then I came to Lawton.
In Cov, yeah.
Giles did a factory tour with me, and I did a live. Was that on YouTube?
I
Live?
wasn't there, and you got a sort of VIP tour, didn't you?
Yeah.
But then I came back in the office. I can't
Yeah,
remember
but I remember doing a live, and people were so interested in the process of making the tube. It was really popular, and then you got in touch, came back again. We did a because this was just an impromptu. Let's have a look round.
Yeah.
And me being social media guy, I was like, "Oh, can I film this?" But then I came back and we did it properly, and then we just went from there because
See, we never thought a 1940s factory, which is what it is, anyone's interested in it. And then we acquired a competitor a few years ago when my dad was still in the business. That was an American-owned company down on the south coast, so we acquired that business, and that helped broaden the offering that we do. And I brought one here today. So this is not a new plumbing tube. It's not April Fool's Day. I don't know if the camera can see that, but hello, it's a square piece of tube. Do you know? Come on, this is a question not for you, Pete. Do you know why we would make other than a round tube?
Trunking.
Well, think about we're going back to school days, really. We're increasing the surface area. Why would we? So by making a square, it's not round, you've increased the surface area because copper's really good at passing electrical currents. So it's really good at induction heating. It can go into a nuclear power station. It can go into a nuclear submarine. Anything that needs to carry a high electrical current, wire, you see. But we make a hollow tube. So that was one of the reasons we acquired another business. A lot smaller than us, but it complemented. It's got about 15 staff.
But I suggested we take this to the colleges because that, to me, is really impressive. Like, not many people know that they could manufacture a square.
That's actually from a round tube.
Yeah. So you've not told them the process of how they do it yet. So, for example, a square one, there'll be an internal plug and then an external die.
See?
And the copper gets crushed. So it'll be a round tube, gets crushed. It'll get passed through the square, and then it's pulled. So then the larger size just gets pulled through the smaller, and it comes out like that.
It's just brute force.
They'll cut the damaged bit off the end, and then you'll just have one long square. They can do star shapes.
Do quite a few ovals. Depends on
Yeah,
the
depends
application,
on-
what people
yeah.
want.
You can do a rectangle. You can also
Really
say,
thin and
what's
flat.
that? That's 0.9, is it 1 mil thick? wall.
Something like that, yeah.
So that's a 1 mil wall. You could say I want 2 mil wall or 2.5 or whatever you want. They've got the die and the plug to make it.
About £500,000 worth of tooling
It's incredible.
just to make tube.
Shit.
We can make it. I think we can make it as thick as something about 8 mil thick, and we can make it as long as about 8 to 10 meters long. The tube, and that's what we're really known for.
But I think it's important as a company that you're diversifying in all different areas rather than keeping your eggs in one basket.
So we've got 4 different industries.
Yeah.
So we're quite unique. I mean, and this isn't me blowing my own trumpet, but I'm gonna. We're quite unique.
You make
as a
your own
company.
trumpet, can't you?
We could. I met a guy last night who makes plastic trumpets.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with going in
There
all
you
the
go.
industries, though.
Not sure where that market's going.
Yeah.
But no. So what are we going to talk about there?
Unique.
Yes, so we're pretty unique because we cover nearly every market or industry that copper pipe is needed for. We don't specialise in one. And then what we've done, I mentioned right at the very start, the 5th generation, we acquired a business, a company called Wartech. 2nd generation business. Unfortunately, the owner, the son of the owner now, didn't have any kids. He wanted to keep the business going. It's got a number of CNC machines. I don't know if you know what a CNC machine is. It's like a tooling machine that can make, you put a bar or a tube in it, it'll come out with make a fitting.
Yeah.
Which is basically what it does. He said, "Oh look, I've known you for 40 years. We supplied him with pipe. I need to keep the legacy going of his business." And he said, "Look, I really like the ethics that Lawton Tube have got. Would you consider?" And we did. We put Patrick in there, who's our 5th generation, cutting his teeth in the industry, if you like. And that company makes fittings for the water technology industry. In basic terms, that's the cylinders. So traditionally it would have been copper. So I think that I learned the other week that they've made 13 million copper fittings that go into cylinders. That's 7.5 million cylinders. So you don't know, for all the years that you've been doing plumbing, you just thought about, well, you probably didn't think about Lawton pipe because you just go in there and ask for 15 mil.
Pipe, no,
But you're also using our products now in cylinders, and what they've moved into is stainless. So now the heat pump technology is coming in, more and more cylinders are going to be needed. So we're manufacturing, and that's only just up the road from us in the Midlands. They're manufacturing stainless steel fittings for water cylinders. So we're getting more and more diverse. And I'm sure that will continue as the business carries on growing and changing and adapting to the circumstances it's in. But I do think copper's still very much going to be, and I've got to say, I have to thank everybody in the industry because you guys still love, I know you hate plumbing, but I know a lot of people out there still,
Gives you that,
I don't know, still a lot of people love using copper.
Yeah.
There's a lot of job satisfaction with copper. You can stand back and look at it and it looks good, which you don't get with plastic. Just a question, you do obviously tube. What would it take for you to, because you said there's a big rise in electric cars, there's a lot of copper electric cars. What would you have to do to start doing wire? Would it be a big investment in different kit?
It would be a complete change to. So what we try and do, the strategy, if you like, of the business is to add on products that are similar to what we do. You know, I'm not going to start selling rags or blue paper towels or anything that's not closely associated. We've had a lot of people come into the company and say, "Wow, guys, you guys have stuck really to your core route. You've not strayed too far." We don't need to. There's so much opportunity for us, or has been. Fittings is a massive growth area for us. Wire, if you think about, let's just talk about the number of tons that come out of the ground for a minute. So I think it's about 19 million tons of copper's coming out of the ground every year, approximately, and it's growing because demand's growing. Out of that 90 million, and we do this sort of talk at college, about 4 million is turned into copper tube across the world, and the UK is about 40,000 tons of that 4 million. So it doesn't sound massive, but in terms of Europe, you look at Spain, I think it's less than 8. It's all gone plastic. But you can't do plastic in a boiler. You can't do plastic around you.
You can over there.
But you can over there.
Yeah.
That's exactly they're allowed to use barrier pipe, which you can't do in this country. So if you think about the difference between the volume just to what's coming out of the ground and the application, the wire market is enormous, and and there are big companies out there that are producing copper wire. That wouldn't be a strength for us. I think we're comfortable supplying tube. And if
You don't mix with Sparkies either, do you?
there's nothing wrong with a Sparky. I know quite a few.
Yeah, I do.
I know quite a few people in different trades.
Yeah, no, a few people
like
don't
that,
like them, do we?
don't they?
No, I ain't joking. We do.
They don't like plumbers.
No, they don't.
I have to sit in the middle somewhere, especially when I'm being recorded. So we'll focus on that, and with the advent of press, there's a lot of press fittings out there, but I think we can sell a system. So we can sell a tube and the fittings, and people get that reassurance of our warranties, the brand that we put out there. We wouldn't sell any old rubbish. We'll do a lot of in-house testing. We'll check the product before we go to market. We're a bit late. That's probably one of the reasons. But we'll get there. And do you know what? It'll be a success. We'll make
but you're late because you're trying to get it right.
Yeah, I think with press at the start, it was really expensive, right? The price is coming down or not? As more people enter the market?
I don't really know.
How does that affect you in terms of the copper prices always fluctuate, or metal prices in general? Does that
You have got a little list of things you want to talk about in your head, haven't you?
I think of them as I come.
Oh, do you? That's where you think on your feet. The copper price, well, we're very transparent on that. So on our website, for example, we track what they call the LME, which is a London Metal Exchange. And it's like stocks and shares, metal, whether it be a semi-precious metal like copper, or whether it's gold or diamonds, even cotton is traded on the stock exchange. And so the price is dictated by what's happening in the world. And we have no control over that. Nobody does. So a war or a flood or something new to the market like electric cars will have an impact on the price of copper. And so we all have to buy and trade on it every day, and we show that on our website, so you can see the graph. When you go to scrap it in, you'll get given a price per kilo, just like we would get a price per kilo for buying the raw material.
Obviously, you're passionate about copper and you want it to keep going. Obviously, you get merchants that sell everything. Do you think it would work if there was just a merchant that sold copper? Like if you was to start setting up your own...
I don't think there'd be enough money in it, would it? I don't know. Some people tried that online, I think some time ago, not recent. I think everybody sees the value of the product and think, oh, God, that must be good money. And it's just not. It's low margin. You've got to shift a lot of it to make any money. Don't think you'd survive just selling copper. Maybe
I think the trouble with our job is if you go, even if you wanted to, if your ethics were, my company's only going to install copper tube, a lot of the jobs you go to, someone will have put some plastic in, and then to change it all to copper, who's going to pay for it? So you're going to have to adapt.
It's that's the thing, innit? It's like people always say, well, there's nothing wrong with it before. You know what I mean? Like
that's when our job can become quite. It gets you down because you're looking at this absolute shit show of plumbing. You think, who the fuck's done this? Yeah. You want to do it right, but no one's going to pay you to rip it all out and start again.
Because they don't ever see that, do they?
No.
And that's the thing I've always said about like social media. I know we do, like you do, others do this great pipe work. Like they put in this fantastic pipe work, but we appreciate it. We appreciate it as plumbers and then like, gas engineers and that. But does the end user look at a plumbing page and think, oh wow, or do they just think heating and hot water? They'll see a tiler's page and they'll go, wow, look at that bathroom finish, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But at the end of the day, when you're quoting a job for Mrs. Jones, she's not really, a lot of the time, not really bothered what it looks like, is she? Do you know what I mean? She just wants to be hot and bathed. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think it gets as much respect.
It's
from
down
the
to
end user.
education. You'll have customers where they know what they want, they know how it should work, because you could get 2 quotes for the same job, and one will be cheaper and one will be expensive. And let's say, use a shower as an example. The expensive guy gives you 17 litres per minute at 50 degrees hot water. The cheaper guy, you'll still have a working shower, but you'll then max temperature's 45 degrees and you get 11 litres per minute. Which one's better? The one you would have paid more for.
Yeah.
But the customer, if they're not educated, they're still going to have a
that's
working
that's what I
shower.
mean. The customers, the end users, don't actually know, do they? They
Can you
don't.
tell them
Some of them don't.
when you go into quote?
Well,
you
you try and give them as
pictures
much
to them.
information as you can. That's what I generally try and do. But the quotes, I've been to so many jobs before where the customers say, you weren't the cheapest quote. You go, but you weren't the most expensive. And the difference in quotes, 4 different quotes, and the prices between them, from the bottom quote being 1,800 quid, the top quote's $6,000. And it's like, we're talking about a combi change.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you think to yourself, well, how is that? How is anyone meant to know out there in the private sector what is right when there's such a variation?
Do you put in your quote exactly what you're quoting, or are you just quoting to do whatever the job's?
I generally, just me personally, I'll just say
He puts boiler install.
boiler installation.
So with
Chemical flush, do you know what I mean? I'll put boiler installation, chemical flush, change rad valve, blah blah blah, anything like that. And possibly, if it's copper pipe work, then I'm going to put down in copper. Do you know what I mean?
Do you actually state?
Yeah.
Do you?
Because a lot of people will they'll look at that quote and they go, what does he mean by that? So what's the next guy going to put in? Is he going to put in all copper?
Yeah.
Because if I don't get it, I want that motherfucker to put in fucking copper the way I was going to do it. And then, do you know what I mean? So then he's kind of come up to the quote. He's all right. He's put in a cheap quote. And then they go, okay, why is that all plastic? The last guy said he'd quoted for copper. And then put them up on it. Do you know what I mean? Because,
Because most people, like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, go in for a new bathroom. They'll be more interested in the sink, the shower,
the finish.
Yeah,
They
how
don't
big
see
the
what's
shower head.
underneath.
Yeah.
They don't see what's underneath, what's under the floor.
Until you start the work, and then they start seeing
Yeah.
everything come up. I mean, I had a bathroom fitted recently, and in my main bathroom, because I've got
Who done it? Him?
West Wing.
Who
I
done
wish
it?
he would do.
Did he do it? Did he in West Wing? Did he not do it? Did you get him to do it?
No, he don't come round.
Who done it?
Actually, a good local supplier in the town I live in, actually, not far from, and they took up the floorboards, and I didn't know this, but because the floorboards were originally a wet room, they cut through the joist too deep.
Oh.
And the guy who quoted the job, obviously, you can't see what's under the floor because you're not doing the job yet. No. So it's not like a builder. I don't know. Does a builder get more lenience? Oh, well, I didn't know that was there. I'm going to charge you for this. Plumbers don't tend to be able to put add-ons. I don't know.
You can as long as you explain it to your customer. It's like swapping an immersion on an old cylinder.
Yeah.
As long as you tell them before you start, there's a chance I could completely fuck this cylinder. Then if you do, you've got a chance of them having to pay. But if you don't tell them and then you do it, it's your fault.
Yeah, because like my bathroom, he didn't know what they're
tell
going to
him-
find
I
on the
just tell
floorboards.
I just tell him, just getting the Stilson's going like that.
And he
You're
didn't,
gonna have to change the
he
cylinder.
didn't charge me any more to strengthen the joint, the joist. But it took him an extra day to do it. And
But that was their fault.
No, it was the previous. It was the it was the previous bathroom that was already there.
Did you pay him any more?
No, he didn't ask me for any more money. Do you know what I did do though?
What?
I gave him the ensuite because he did such a good job. And
Where's that? West Wing.
Yeah, that was on the other side of the house. That was one of the other bathrooms.
He was like,
that was in my swimming pool area.
100-metre pipe run.
he was like, he didn't know who you was, and he bought a load of copper and thinking, I'm going to mark this up. I'm going to mark up on this, and you supplied him all the copper, did you?
No,
No.
I'd have to buy it like everyone else.
Yeah. Well, you get it cheaper though, don't you?
Do you know what? I don't know whether you see this or whether it comes through, but I hope you guys do. We're very sort of down to earth.
Oh yeah.
All the money. I am, yeah.
Yeah.
He knows.
We know.
I don't drive around in a Ferrari or anything like that. I'd like to, but I don't. Everything goes back into the business because it's a family business.
Yeah.
We're providing it for the next generation or for the kids. You know, I work for my children. I've got 3 kids, and I work for them. God, get the old little violin out. But that's the thing. Some people, and other companies, they'll milk it as much as they can, take the money out of the business, sell it within 10 years or whatever. I don't have. So people think, oh, you're working in a family business. What a great opportunity. It is great, and I love working where I am, but I'm it does come with certain responsibilities, which not everybody understands. But you guys probably do because you're all self-employed. So you understand. I don't know.
I'm not leaving it to my girls.
Are you not? Your girls not getting into plumbing?
No, they won't be getting into
No?
plumbing.
What
No.
are they gonna
I
get
don't
into?
want them going
Dancing?
plumbing. Well, yeah, dancing. You know, what
TikTok?
else? No, one of them wants to be a marine. What do they call it?
Biologist?
Biologist.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
I had that text off my nephew last week.
Oh, yeah.
About getting into plumbing, and I've never like pushed it on him. I was just waiting, and if he said he wanted to be a plumber, then great. Because I've always thought about getting an apprentice. I need someone I can trust, and I don't want to train up my competition. So a family member would be ideal. And I was looking at Harry, thinking I would love it, and I'd add your name onto the company. I'd do anything because he's my nephew. I love him. But do I want him to be a plumber? Because the amount of shit we have to deal with, crap work, people wanting the cheapest price. There's so many better things he could do.
Hello, you wonderful listeners and watchers. Just pumping the brakes on this exciting episode to let you know about Kieran's app that's changing the game in the gas certificate world.
If you're sick and tired of doing gas certificates on paper, then Gas Certificate app is your way forward. But it wouldn't be an app worth talking about if that's it. With no hassle, you can manage your diaries, invoices and quotes for all your jobs, so you'll never be chasing paperwork again.
Don't forget those boiler manuals. I can tell you how many times I've been looking at a boiler and thinking, what the? Thankfully, the in-app boiler manuals have saved me and got me out of quite the pinch.
If it's helped Pete here, then Gas Certificate app will definitely help you, especially with its easy-to-use gas reg calculator and the extremely handy ability to duplicate certs. Brilliant for when you're doing your annual services on previous jobs.
And for the icing on the cake, it has a complete offline mode. So if you're on a job in the middle of nowhere or servicing a boiler in the basement of a building with no signal, you've still got access to everything the app has to offer to keep you working hard.
So click the link down below or in the description. Use the code POD30 to get 30% off yearly subscriptions. That's for all new users. That's POD30 for 30% off our yearly subscriptions for new users.
The thing is, right, the way I'd look at it is everyone needs a job when they leave school anyway, don't they? So it don't really matter what job you do. When I left my crap job to do plumbing was great. I loved it.
I thought you were always a plumber.
What?
I thought you were always a plumber.
No, I did some real
Dodgy shit.
not great jobs, just like, working in a factory.
Them bags that you were showing earlier. That's
working in Tesco's. What else did I do? Painting, decorating for a couple of weeks. I've done loads of little crappy jobs, and not crappy jobs, but just mediocre jobs.
finding your path.
And then I got into it just because I played football with my mate, and he was they was just heating installers, and they took me on. I was about 20 years old. Took me on. And I just went, and I loved doing it. I thought, God, this is different, isn't it? Going to work, having a laugh, putting in pipes like this. It's like, all right, we're just
Your
having
own
a laugh
boss?
all day. Well, I wasn't even my own boss. I worked for my mates.
Okay.
But it was a job that I enjoyed. And I thought to myself, I like doing this and I'm getting paid for it. Happy days. Do you know what I mean? It was just... But then as you work on and then you realise what working for yourself as a self-employed plumber is, it ain't that great. Do you know what I mean? It's not...
There's so much that can go wrong, and
Everything revolves around sod's law with plumbing. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong. That is just the way it is. You can't odds it. And this is why we get bad names, because they go, oh, you can't get a decent plumber, you can't find anyone reliable. But you never know what's going to happen. I always say that to people. I can't predict what's going on. And like the old woman at home saying, what time are you going to be home? I don't know. I ain't got a clue. It's a very, very...
It's fluid. You're not 9 to 5, are you? Because you don't know what your job's going to do.
Yeah, no, it's just not very sociable. Do you know what I mean? For some of the times, I've been on site sometimes till like 10:30 at night trying to sort stuff out because things have been gone wrong, and I just think, why am I doing this? But if you work for a company doing it, that's what I was saying to you earlier. And Abby, she took it the wrong way, didn't she? Said, if you go to work for a company and then you come home and you forget about it, you switch off, don't you?
Yeah.
It's all right. But when you're self-employed, not just plumbing, but any trade job really, you're thinking about the next client, you're thinking about the next job you're going to. That's a constant you're constantly working. Your mind's constantly working for your job. So that's the thing that I generally don't like plumbing because of the things you just said. It's unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen. You know,
But there must be some nice.
there are good times, yeah. Don't get me wrong, there's good
All
times.
depends
But
on the work that you get as
yeah,
well.
but it's not only that. It's just everything
Makes
as
a
well
massive
is tried to be made harder now, is it? Like everything with like. Not just, I mean, health and safety's got to be there, but sometimes you think it's gone a bit too over the top, you know what I mean? Then you got rules and regs. Your rules and regs are always changing. On gas safe, you got different regs coming in for. You got new stuff that's coming in, like air source heat pumps and that, which is all good and it's all like innovative and all that. But it's something else to learn, isn't it? And how much more can my head take of trying to absorb all this new information? It can't, can it?
But you
know?
imagine the kit you need to fit a combi.
Yeah.
You got a van full of kit just for one job, and
Any
then
job.
imagine having to do heat pumps or bathrooms.
Any job, innit? In that sector, right? So yesterday, right, I'm just doing a gas move. All I'm doing is one gas pipe, yeah. But the amount of boxes, tool fittings, drills, just solder kit, hand tools, testing equipment, everything. I'm filling up that kitchen like with stuff. Like, even if you're doing a basin, some
Don't let
people
the
go.
dog in there.
Some people go and go, oh, I just need a basin change. Well, I've got my pipe.
While you're
benders,
here, can you just do
I've got my
this?
drills. I've got everything out to do that one job. And you think to yourself, it's like they think it's a small job, but in actual
So,
fact,
is there any jobs you don't do? Like, would you do bathrooms?
no, I don't do them anymore.
Right.
I used to do
You
bathrooms.
do you do boilers?
I do boilers.
You
yeah.
do boilers,
Yeah.
rads.
Heating, breakdowns, rads, yeah, anything on the heating sector I'll do domestically. I do like changing taps, you know, the plumbing jobs, fixing toilets. But if anyone come up to me and said, I want you to do a bathroom, I don't bother. Like, unless it's for a builder who I'm working on the site for and he's got his own tile, his plaster, his distance.
So why don't you like doing bathrooms?
Because it's all on you. As a plumber, when people ask you to do a bathroom, I said this the other week, now a bathroom fitter is more of like his own trade.
I think
Do you know what
unless
I mean?
you're doing the whole thing yourself, if you're trying to get plasterers in, tilers, isn't it?
Well,
It's
that's
hard
the
work.
headache, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because people expect
You're
you as the
relying-
plumber to be the main person,
The project manager.
project manager. That's what I used to be.
Yeah.
So I used to, because I don't touch anything. I am going to try tiling. I'm not going to do painting. I'm not going to do any electrics or anything like. I'm going to get the other sources in, plasterers, etc.
yeah.
But then when one of them lets you down, you're ended up working.
Pretty much a builder at that point.
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
you?
You're a project manager and you're doing your work, but you end up making less money than the other trades around you.
Yeah, some people do nothing but bathrooms.
But yeah,
It's down to form, isn't it? If you're doing bathrooms one a week, every week for years, you're
that's
going to
what
be
Gaz done,
it's like
really,
it's like Gaz, yeah.
you're
GC
going to be
Rock.
really good at doing bathrooms.
He's amazing at bathrooms, GC Rock. That is what he does. But he's good at everything, tiling the lot. He does the full.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the full package.
Week in, week out, he
Get
does
Gaz in, and he
bathrooms,
does
yeah.
it. Do you know what I mean?
But would he be good at fault finding on a boiler?
No.
Probably not.
No.
That's the thing. If you're doing boiler fault finding all day, every day, like I used to do, that becomes what you're good at.
Yeah, I learned a lot from him.
And the thing with because we do it to make money, it's a job, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the thing that you become good at and you can do fast makes you the most money.
Yeah,
So if you're, if I took on a bathroom and it took me 2 weeks, whereas G-Rock could do it a lot better than me in half the time, he's going to make more money. So you choose what you do. But the trouble with that is, like they say, landlord gas certificates probably the no material. It's the easiest thing we can do to make the most money.
yeah,
How boring would that be if you did those every day?
yeah.
You need variety.
But it's easier with gas certificate app.
Yeah.
Plug there for you. But yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. I don't. Do you know what? I don't like working for landlords anyway. Generally, I don't like.
What do you
working-
like doing?
Not a lot, mate. I like doing this. This is good.
Do you?
Talking to you, mate.
How did you get into it?
What?
Doing this?
He asked me.
Yeah.
It's that
I don't know
simple.
why. I should
He said, "Do you want to do a
found someone
podcast
else.
with me?" Yeah, all right. Yeah. Go on, then, mate. Let's do it. And here we are talking to you two.
That was December, wasn't it? No, November. We spoke about it. It started in Jan.
Yeah.
Are you only started this year? Because I followed you since the start.
Do you know what I like
January.
though? You thought about it and you're actually doing it. Because a lot of people talk. I see so many
That's
people.
on him.
I'm starting a podcast and
Yeah.
they never do.
That's on him because.
Oh, I wonder who that could be.
Hey.
Shut up.
But that's on you though, isn't it? That's Kieran's drive because Kieran is like proper driven. Like, he might not look it, and he might look a bit dopey and all that, but he's proper got. When he wants to do something, he go and do it. He's a go-getter, isn't he? Like me, I'll just sometimes I'm guilty of stuff. I'm guilty of waiting for stuff to happen, or like I don't put 100% effort into something as I should. But him, he see it. He got a vision. He said, "I'm going to do it." And I went, "All right, then I'll come do it with you. Let's do it." And he helps me. Do you know what I mean? So it's the good. It's
we help each other. don't
help
we?
each other. It's a good team, innit? You know what I mean? I'm the mouthpiece. I don't know if you noticed.
I'll just sit there.
But it's all good. It's good. Yeah, it's good. It's a good. This is my highlight of the week coming here. This is the
Just a vent.
then you know.
Oh,
but
when he
just
goes on a rant on the other show. Like, oh. I know him now.
But it's
I
good
know
though,
what's
innit?
going to
I
make
like
him.
it. We're unfiltered. Do you know what I mean? We're unfiltered. We can
I
say
think
what
people
we
on
want.
social media like it when someone does a rant because most of us are thinking it as well.
Yeah.
So it's relatable, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
that's where a lot of my engagement comes from, having a rant.
Yeah.
I remember one of my, I remember doing one post, it went a bit mental on TikTok, and I was moaning that a customer phoned me up, and I said to him, I think I quoted him 80 quid to change a set of taps, right? And he went, "Oh, what is that labour only?" and I went, "Yeah." They thought they was going to get some taps supplied for that price. And I said, "Oh, right, okay." And I turned around and I said, you wanted to know, basically something about, you want to go and get your own taps because you think I'm going to put my bit on myself. And I looked straight at the camera and went, "Fuck off, I don't need a job like that," right? It went mental. It went really mental. And so, but people love rants and people just speaking as they like, you know what I mean?
From the heart.
From the art and what they feel.
when I was really, I probably was still an apprentice, but because I worked with my dad quite early, I got my own van. I know you're not allowed to work when you're an apprentice on your own, but I was in my own van. And I went to this guy's house. I liked him actually. His name was Jeff. Big house, had a piano when you walked in the like hall area. But the first time I went to his house was to fix the toilet, and I did it in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And he said, "I presume I'm paying you by the hour, so can you go around and check all my radiators, bleed all my radiators?" And obviously I'm quite young, brand new, so I just did it. But I was thinking, how would I react to that now if I was called to do a job, and because I'm charging them for an hour call out, they then wanted me to be there for the hour doing something.
Yeah.
Most people wouldn't.
Nah, I think
I
it's
never read that.
I never advertised myself as an hourly rate. Do you know what I mean? I never.
Well, you
I just
wouldn't-
come out
yeah,
and I
I'd
go.
just say-
Do you remember Yellow Pages? Is that still a thing?
Yeah.
Emergency call-outs, that would be by the hour.
Yeah, but I've never actually said when
It might have been a generational thing for him, but because
Yeah.
I didn't argue with it. I just did
people,
it.
I never really give an hourly rate. I just go and do the
If you
job.
go for an emergency-
I go and do the job. I go and fix a toilet, a leak or whatever, and they go,
Yeah.
"How much is that?" Depending on how long I was there.
Yeah.
15 minutes, an hour, hour and 20. Sometimes I look at the job and think, well, really, that should be like, I don't know, 100 quid,
Yeah.
80 quid,
So
whatever.
I suppose in that situation, I would have said to him, "Well, I'm not charging you for an hour. I'm charging you for that job I've done." And
Yeah.
then I would have gone, but yeah, I just.
Yeah,
I mean, you did that thing not so long ago where you were trying to gauge what people would charge,
Yeah.
and it was quite across the country, quite a varied what people would.
The trouble with things like that is you don't know if everyone's being serious with their answers when someone pipes up 500 quid
yeah.
for a
There are
5-minute job.
Yeah, there are some divs out
You got to imagine they're taking the piss, but
But some of them ain't. Some of them actually do mean it, I think.
I was going to say I'm sort of changing it here, but how have you found doing the social media? The
He
social
he
media
loves it.
space, like the last. When did you start?
I'm
About
like
3 years
you.
ago?
If I'm going to do something, I'll do it
Yeah.
as best as I can,
Yeah.
which is terrible, but I still have a go
Yeah.
because I do it for myself, but I also do it maybe
but
slightly
you
different.
you love the community. You love getting involved, seeing what other people are doing, and
3 years ago, right, we weren't on socials.
So what did you do to get on? So what did? Was
So
it him who
apart
got
from
you
meeting
into
him,
it? Yeah.
I had a bit of a job role change. So I was business development director for about 12 years. That was looking at new products. That was launching us into accessories, which we talked about earlier. We've now got more people in the business, so we employ I think about 140 people now in the company. So it's not massive, but it's not small. And I saw that we weren't. I don't know, just a light bulb moment. Maybe we thought, well, do you know what? We're getting quite a big company. We're not so well known. People aren't talking about the brand. It's a good brand. We've done a lot of work with the branding. making it more modern. You wouldn't think it was a 100-year-old business with the logos and everything else. So I moved into marketing, but still keeping the international business going on me. And I just took to social media and Instagram, because I'm that generation where it was Facebook, but Facebook was really was dying, I think. It was more about keeping up to date with what's happening at school or these sort of things. So I picked up Instagram. I had an Instagram account anyway, but I'm not massive on it in my private life. And I just started an Instagram page, really. And I needed some help because I've always wanted to do marketing, but I flunked. I wasn't great at school, so I didn't get the grades to go off to do marketing. I took a chance doing a degree in logistics for my things, but put me where I am today, so I have that to thank. So I brought in some help, but not to help me do the social media, because I do all that myself. But I got people in to help me with maybe doing some graphics, coming up with a copper man, because a lump of metal is as boring as ours. So we've got to try and make it entertaining. And then I just I think I'm a little bit out there.
Do you reckon?
I think I am a little bit. I
think the thing I like about Lawton Tubes is it's a big company. What do you turn every year, roughly?
230 million.
Right. So you message on social media
Lenders
Lawton Tubes. You expect to get a member of staff, a marketing person answer your DM, but it's actually Mr. Lawton answers it.
I am struggling a bit now.
Would you grow a team in the marketing?
So actually, I've regurgitated the marketing strategy for this year. I know we're halfway through it, but that includes trying to find someone to help me. I think I'm doing 4 to 6 hours a day on social media.
Oh, yeah.
And then doing a day job, which is a
rookie
day job.
numbers.
Rookie numbers.
Do you know what I do? I don't allow my phone. This is what a lot of people don't do, but I'm just weird. I don't allow my phone to dictate when I look at it. The Apple Watches and all these sort of things.
Yeah, we know that. Or
halfway through,
you got the right address, wouldn't you? If you looked at it. Spent 10 minutes waiting at the old address.
Well, at least we know where Miller and Carr is now, and I have to charge my car. I don't let my phone dictate me. So I turn all my notifications off pretty much. There's a few, and I know you can do it on your phone now. That you can, if it's family, it'll ring and you'll get notifications. But I don't look at my phone because it bleeps or a notification.
Yeah, I need to get.
I look at it when I want to look at it, and I think that's the difference. I don't let it rule my life, even though it is a big part of my life. But I will look at Instagram, I will look at LinkedIn, not because I've got someone sent me a notification. It's because I've got 5 minutes, or I've had a brain fart about something, and I want to, and then suddenly I'm because you're there. You think, I'll just have a quick look, and you're there an hour. Hour's just gone, isn't it? Yeah. And you think, where the bloody hell's that gone? And I've watched all these videos about Pete cracking jokes and telling how everybody hates plumbing. And
I've blocked his page.
Have you, fair play?
Don't do that. That'll mess up the algorithm, mate. Stop it.
So I am getting a person in. We're at the early stages of interviewing. I think I've got a lot to learn. I'm still learning. Everybody's still learning. So I'm not fantastically brilliant, and there are, even you guys are getting so into your editing, and that's getting tricky to keep pace, if you like, because you're all becoming quite experts in marketing. You don't realise it. But
People don't realise it.
What Pete does, and he should do more YouTube videos. Please write your comments in on this post.
When was the last one you done?
Oh God, I had a revival where I thought, right, one a week. When was that?
January.
And then lasted about 4 weeks.
Yeah. And yet he gets so many people saying, "Pete, I really love what you're doing."
I have to be in the mood, because if you're promoting the plumbing industry, you've got to be feeling it.
Yeah.
I can't promote it when I'm not feeling it.
That's why I don't do it anymore. That's why I don't
Sounds like everyone's saying they don't like plumbing. I need to go and find it.
Yeah, you need to go
plumbing's
somewhere
great.
else.
But he's right. It's like sometimes you will get a bit down with it all, and if it's getting on
I
top,
can't do anything if my heart's not in it.
Yeah.
Even down to like when I did my kit bags with Velocity, the guy that I designed it with. So I basically draw what I want, and he makes it into a CAD drawing, and he put this orange bungee cord on it because their colour's black and orange, and I didn't like it. So it was that I had to say to him, look, if you put this bungee cord on, I'm not going to be able to tell people to buy this bag
because I
don't like it.
Yeah.
That's how funny I am about things. So if I don't feel it, I can't do it. It's just how I am.
Were you always like that?
Yeah.
So then you've been on. Then when did you start it? Then when did you start social media? How long ago was that? Because I've followed you since.
I used to do Twitter. That was my main one.
Yeah, that's it.
And
yeah.
I was just tweeting about stuff that was happening on jobs. And then I just noticed it was getting a bit of traction. And I only moved over to Instagram to save the name. Because I thought I better reserve PB Plumber because I'm getting big on Twitter now.
Yeah, yeah.
So I did that and then I just left that. So I've got the name.
How many followers do you have on Twitter?
I got up to 20. I think I've got 22,000. But when I was doing it, because I don't look on Twitter ever really.
It's not a thing now, is it? Do you
I'll use
you
it
post
like
on
for
it
this
still?
Van Tooltheft campaign. I'll use it for that.
We'll get onto that.
But I stopped when my peak was like 20,000. I'd got more followers than Charlie Mullins had, so I was doing really well. And then it sort of died off. But what I did was I went over to Instagram just to check.
I'm going to see him tomorrow.
And I was like, I've got 4,000 followers on Instagram, but I've not done anything.
Yeah.
So I thought I better start taking this seriously. And then as soon as I started taking Instagram seriously, it doubled my Twitter following within 6 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But then once I got to about 60,000 on Instagram, and then it's really slow. I think I've been on 74.8 for the last year.
Just because you don't post, I think.
What, on Insta?
Yeah, because 74.9, then it'll go back down to 74.8. Never goes up or down.
Yeah, you don't do. You're not a prolific poster, are you? Like,
No.
But
when
it's
I-
different content.
But I was when I started.
Yeah.
When I was
Building
trying to
it.
grow it.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you lost a passion for it a bit, or
Yeah, I put pressure on myself every day to put something out. And the thing I struggle with at the minute is I'll see stuff now that I did 6 years ago. People doing. And
Yeah.
it doesn't turn me on. Seeing the same old.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, yeah, same sort of thing. That's why I started doing this shit I did, I think. Because when I first started it, I was doing like jobs and getting into it and talking technical stuff, trying to talk technical stuff and doing it that way and then just getting into a bit of jokey stuff and then just thinking, you know what? I just like what you say, it's got a thing now, innit? Like where Instagram plumbing. Yeah, like where people will go out their way to do something to, you know, the black clip. I like it. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes I think to myself, "Wow, you have just done that for Instagram," like, and it's sort of like, how long are you taking on that? Do you know what I mean? Have you done yourself any favours there? Do you know what I mean by doing that? I know it looks a good job and all that, but it's purely.
Some people do it because they're proud about
Yeah,
what they do.
I know that.
It's
but
not
then
always
again,
about-
But then again, sometimes it's, I don't know, about
You can't
like,
win sometimes,
jumping
can you?
on the trend, maybe. Do you know what I mean?
Some might do that. But
Don't get me. I've done it. I've done it myself.
I see a lot of people. I mean, I've only got 5, so and I'm struggling to get 5, but I'm not there for the numbers really. But you are because you can't help yourself. But I people post stuff. Maybe I'm just naive, but because they've really enjoyed what they've done and they think, well, I want to share it. Or do you know what? There is some satisfaction I think people get from people like me, who I mean, Pete's been using my product, you've been using my product since you were whatever age, and just to get a like, you know, I never thought it was a thing, but people actually like really appreciate people comment, not necessarily comment, even just a like or just being noticed, and I never thought that was a thing, but
I think I get a lot of. I tell you what, I get a lot of.
it's appreciation
It's
from other people in the
appreciation,
trade.
But I think at the same time,
You think people are doing it
no.
purely for...
No, a lot of people do it because they want to emulate stuff. They want it to look good and they want to promote themselves as Instagram plumber, whatever. But then I think a lot of the stuff I get is because I don't really show that much anymore because there's a lot of plumbers out there on the job day to day who are going through it and they don't call them slingers, but they're not shining the pipes up. They're doing that, but they're getting on with the job and they're going. And I think I get a lot of because a lot of people don't show ugly work. Do you know what I mean? A lot of you don't see a lot of the, but I don't mind showing it. I don't mind, and I know that a lot of the stuff that I do is generally speaking, it could be just a quick on-off job wall, not Instagram job, but I'll just show it because it's just a case of, well, that is what happens with loads of people out there who ain't on Instagram, but they're browsing through and they're going, how does he get the time to do that? I've had to do this way, and I'll show it that way. And I think a lot of people interact with that because they're like saying, well, he's this Instagram geezer, he's just showing it the way we do it. Which
I think one of the most popular videos I ever did was just released a video where I cut through a live mate.
Yeah.
Because no one else was showing their mistakes.
Yeah, that's it.
And it is good to be real because everyone knows what our job's like.
Yeah.
And when you show the nice jobs, when you've had someone give you a plant room to yourself and you've been able to apply it and you've been able to space your clips out and you've got time to do the nice work.
Hopefully I've got one of them coming up because I want to show one.
Yeah, but most people know not every job's like that.
Not every job's like that. But sometimes some accounts will show that every job is like that and they won't show the shit ones. Do you know what I mean? And you think to yourself, you've got to have a little bit of balance.
It's like a showcase as well, isn't it?
It is a showcase, yeah, but... Well, yeah, that's when you're talking about it as being like a portfolio for your business.
I think
you're not going to show any shit jobs. Do you know what I mean?
But we all go through phases and you sort of grow. A lot of my content used to be my kit bag with all my tools organised.
You love a tool, though.
I used to love doing
love
that.
tools.
But then I realised that is anyone actually benefiting from this? Yes, it's a nice picture to look at, but they're not benefiting from it.
No.
In fact, they're probably going to end up buying a tool they don't need. So then I started to change if I only would post if they were going to learn something, see a new tool they didn't know about, or I was promoting something that I believed in, thought was good. So then the pressure was off me for, I've got to post today, to then I'm only going to post if it's bringing something to the table.
Well, you've sort of made it though, haven't you? So you don't have to post because the algorithms, if you don't post, you slip off stories of other people and they suddenly forget. People forget about you very quick.
Yeah.
If you don't.
No, I forgot about you until you showed up this morning.
Now look at you, bundle a cup of tea.
It's tricky because people have motives to do things. You obviously, if you're being paid, you have to put ad, but people don't. So,
but you don't know with the audience size that you've got. What everybody's going to be different, aren't they? So what you don't think is going to be interesting, someone will.
Yeah.
What you think is interesting, somebody won't. Take for example, we had the guy that owned Copper Hearts. Yeah, he was a plumber. During COVID, obviously couldn't do plumbing. Saw Pete's video of how to do Copper Hearts. That's a bit of fun. Yeah, it's not always.
I've done Copper Hearts during COVID.
And do you know what? Everyone loves a Copper Heart. And this guy actually set a business up on the back of that's right.
Yeah, reminds me I have to make a Copper Heart.
And this guy sort of stopped plumbing, started making Copper Hearts, and then he explored more. He started making flowers. He got in touch with me and said, "Look, I'm slicing these pipes of yours and really doing something that it's not designed for." And I said, "Well, have you thought about copper sheet?" And so I put him in touch with someone that could supply him copper sheet. So it saved him time having to cut bits of. I lost work out of it, but hey ho. But he started making these mental flowers, wasn't it? And that's all because of just one post about something.
Yeah,
and then
that's good. That's inspired. That's inspiration, isn't it?
You just got to keep going, and as long as you're passionate and you believe in what you're doing, somebody somewhere is going to benefit from it.
Do you remember my copper dog?
That was in your early days.
It was
right?
so shit. It was so shit. We'll have to put
That's
that
why
up.
we don't remember
it. Was so shit.
We need a little a shelf up here.
It was flat.
People
it was
bringing
flat on the ground. I'll have to get a picture of it and give it to Robbie to superimpose on the bit. It was so crap.
I saw someone make a remote-controlled car out of plastic pipe as well. I can't remember who was that.
Promoting plastic pipe?
Yeah, no, someone made a remote-controlled car out of plastic pipe.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. Innovative, a bit different. I think that's to be embraced. I mean, we welcome people using, because it's not always just about plumbing. Some people, because it's an art form and people enjoy doing it, they like to create wine racks.
Mate. Like, everything off of the. I copied everything off of the internet. Toilet roll holders.
Is your house now full of copper?
Well, it was. Don't live there no more. She
In
chucked me out. Yeah.
Is that what's seen on
Too much
eBay?
copper in here, mate.
It's all on eBay.
Scrap value. That's what we got in the divorce settlement.
In the college, is it all still copper? Or do they use plastic for anything?
Well, they have to learn everything, don't
Yeah,
they?
they do
Yeah.
modules on everything, don't
I'm
they?
a bit disappointed that they're not doing more pressing. I don't know why, because that obviously.
That's because the college can't afford the
Well,
tools. isn't it?
apparently so. So
I can't afford at all. Yeah, how's the college?
I think that's very
afford
short.
it?
The co-
Do
the-
you remember the colleges used to ask bring in old like fittings from work and that? Did they ever
Yeah.
ask you?
No.
Didn't they? That must have been a
Isn't
shit
that a bit
college.
short-sighted by people in the industry that they're not looking at the next
You
generation?
know, because we ask for one every time we go. You can't even get a pipe slice in a college because they don't have them because they just get nicked.
Well, they're very blunt.
Terrible, isn't it?
Yeah. So imagine a press tool.
Not everyone, but yeah. But it's just got to learn it.
Yeah, imagine that a Presto would go, wouldn't it? But
Yeah.
give it a day, 2 days.
Well, some of the colleges we've gone into, well, most of the colleges we've gone into, the students have been really engaging, and they don't,
No,
maybe it's not the students then. I
the
don't know.
the trouble we have is when you're talking to them at the start, it's like looking at a crowd of people that just want to kill you.
You ain't good at the
I've got
comedy
to
store,
say,
mate.
I'm not showing that one, but that's what you think in your head.
They don't speak. They don't get involved. They don't ask questions. It's not until we start doing the practical side with the pipe bending that they come out the shells.
Yeah.
Is that because they're not college? So I think that it's changed, hasn't it, at college courses? They've got to engage more with manufacturers. They've either got to go and visit a factory, or they've got to have someone come in and talk. And it's part of the curriculum now.
I introduce it
I
when
think
I,
it'll get
I
better.
say, look, guys, I'm a one-man band plumber. I'm normally on my own 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Or I'm in a customer's house and the customer don't talk to me. So me being stood in front of a crowd of 30, 40 of you is not ideal for me. Like I'm shitting myself. And then hopefully it encourages them
You
to
get
be a
used
bit-
to it though, Pete. Like I
What,
say,
shitting yourself?
you should try. You should try that in front of 400 people at the comedy store who want to kill you.
Yeah, you're going to change the content at this year's Installer Show because you've done the same joke.
We're not doing it.
Are you not?
No.
He shit
I've
himself.
actually sponsored it this year.
No,
I
we're
thought
doing. No,
that's
we're
the only
doing.
reason I go.
No,
He shit himself. It's
Pointy, I'm
allowed to say?
taking back my sponsorship.
No, we're allowed to say.
Ain't up to me.
What? What do you mean?
Ain't up to me. It's up to Pointy if they want to.
Well, we spoke about it. We might be doing this here. We might be doing a live one at the Plumber Social.
I'm doing this.
Yeah, he said, yeah.
You can always cut it out, can't you, if you're not allowed to say it?
You took him. Well, he said, "Oh, he don't want to do the comedy. So should we do the
Yeah.
podcast?" There, I was like, all right.
That's
No,
not
do comedy.
Nah.
You
we're
mean
doing it.
White?
It's too hard.
Dave White.
It's too hard to do the comedy because you got to write something fresh. Do you
You
know how
didn't- you haven't done for 2 years.
Well, I did. No, I did.
Oh,
a
you
little-
should have loads
of
no, I
content.
did.
Blind parents.
I did the
How are
blind
you,
parents
then?
twice. So one's dead. But I did it. I did that set. Yeah, but I didn't do the whole lot. It
I
wasn't the
loved
whole
it.
same.
Oh, it was
wasn't the same.
great.
I
Yeah,
wrote
I
something
think
new.
you should do it.
I
Did
wrote
you?
something
Oh, I
new for
remember
it.
this.
No, I ain't.
You're
doing it.
melting a little bit.
What?
You're melting.
What are you talking about?
Like you don't want to do it. You're
No, I don't
melting.
want to do it again because if
Well, there is pressure on you.
yeah,
it's pressure,
I've got
isn't
a
it?
month to. You can't come up with something.
But you
in a
do
month.
this
You've had
as,
a year.
as your main job now, isn't it? Comedy, stand-up comedy.
No, I don't.
Don't you? I thought you did.
No.
Oh, well, you
Well,
don't pay for
the
those.
plumbing's laughable, but you know.
You get paid for it now.
Do you?
No, yeah.
No.
We did a gig. I did a gig for Baxi Boilers. It went terribly wrong.
Oh, what you mean as like a corporate event?
Bit bombed, yeah. Pointy was hosting it, like as the main, like he was the
He'd be a
the
good host.
awards. He's a brilliant host. He's the one who does like was announcing the awards and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And then he announced me as like the comedian. Corporate events ain't
Did you
easy.
bomb?
It's bad when you think your first real paid gig is a corporate. It's not a good idea.
It's not the same
Bad.
audience.
If you're trying to be a stand-up comedian, don't make
It's different
corporate
audience. You got to know your audience.
Oh, mate, it was terrible. I ran away in the night. Didn't even bother staying at the hotel overnight. Just grabbed me things and fucked
Really?
off out of there.
What was the feedback?
Feedback. Baxi won't allow me to buy any boilers anymore. Don't want me.
What was your
No, that's
material?
not true. What was the material? My material was. It was sort of like, how can I sort of like wrote a bit of it on the day of the thing because I thought I've got to make it relevant to this whole thing.
You didn't talk about getting cut by a boiler, did you?
No. I actually went down another route with another boiler company who we all know was having a bit of problems at the time with certain things, like you know.
It's not ideal, is it?
Exactly. and they got a few laughs, but I think they looked at it as cheap. Do you know what I mean? And I could hear people talking. Could just hear people talking, and it's like, and my experience wasn't there to deal with that sort of thing.
Yeah, you should have called them out.
Well, I couldn't see him, mate.
Maybe next time, right materials absolutely nothing to do with the
I
industry.
don't think there's going to be a next time. Backseat anyway.
Might do.
No, I've got to get back into it anyway. I've not jumped back on it. I've got a gig on Tuesday.
Is it, you know, when you've had a bad gig, is it hard to do the next one?
Nah.
You just have to forget about it.
Yeah. Just do it. Well, leave enough time. I don't know. It's weird. It's just weird. That was different though. That was a different beast because it was like massive and it was quite an important gig really. You're getting paid for it.
It's experience, though, isn't it?
It's experience, but you look at it and you think to yourself, but everyone bombs.
You should have turned up on set wearing a Bob the Builder outfit, or did you go in like a suit and?
No, I just went in normal clothes. I think I went in this actually, or this because I tried to promote it because everyone was like not really laughing. And I was up there after about 10, 11, 12 minutes, whatever it was, because I didn't see the set out. I went, pointing, I think I'm done now, mate. Like, I think I'm done. And he's going, and he went, I know what? Because we was going to plug the podcast. I went, oh, right. Oh, yeah, if you want to see anything more of me, we got a podcast. So I didn't do the podcast any favours either. But it was just like, you know, I got a thick skin. It don't bother me. But at the time, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. You know, you're disappointed, but like, you bounce back.
Must be a reason why they don't have people doing corporate events from the industry then.
Well, I think a lot of it's to do with this. I was always taught, as like on my workshop, never tell people that you're a plumber. Right. And I said to my mentor, I went, well, that's part of my act. Do you know what I mean? That's like 90% of my act. He's going, nah, don't tell him you're a plumber. He goes, well, tell him you used to be a plumber.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But when I get up on that corporate event, I'm Plumber Tales. He's a plumber. He's a heating engineer. He's now trying his hand at comedy. Blah blah. So already, I'm thinking the people are thinking, "Oh, this is gonna be shit." He's just a chancer. Do you know what I mean? In which case, I am. Do you know what I mean? Really, like I'm not a fucking comedian. I'm not a professional sort of thing. I'm just trying my hand at it. So
you could. I'm trying to think. I'm not a comedian, but you could say I'm like You know, you've heard of the pub landlord.
Yeah.
I'm not like him because he used to be a pub landlord and I used to be a plumber, and also he's funny and I'm not.
Yeah, but like, but at Al Murray, he's fucking a genius, isn't he? But you know what? My mate said he was at a corporate gig, and he was DJ at the corporate gig.
Yeah.
Pub landlord was there. Nothing, getting nothing at all, and the people told my mate to put the music on, like, to cut him off. He said he turned around to him when my mate just went, "Oh."
That's the other thing, isn't it? So if you find him funny, you're paid to go to his event. But if it's at a corporate event, those people in the audience are coming and they might not find you funny.
They're not even there.
Or not even heard of it. No, exactly. Well,
it's subjective, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I've seen programmes with Al Murray because he used to do like Saturday night TV, and I never found him funny. But I went to see him live, and he was brilliant. He was so good.
He's well into his war and stuff, isn't he?
Yeah, but his recites are amazing, isn't they? Like, he's what he can.
At the end of the gig, everyone he spoke to, he thanked them all by their name. Like, he remembered everyone's name.
Really?
Yeah. I got picked on because I was in the front row.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did he say to you?
The one which you'll remember, he asked me if I'd got any kids, and then obviously said no, and he said, "Why? Have you got a problem with your plumbing?" So, and also the first thing he said when he asked me what I did, I said I'm a plumber. He said, "Thanks for turning up." Thanks for turning up.
Yeah.
So he was good, really good. But yeah, he thanked everyone by name at the end.
I've got to say, I don't have an issue with your timing. You're always prompt on time.
I've got a reputation for not.
Well, I don't think you. Well, wrongly then. Maybe it's because you actually.
Unlike this, Pete.
Well, maybe because you enjoy working with me. I don't know. I'm putting it out there.
I try and only work with like friends or people I think are my friends. Plumbing friends.
I'm going to switch it up. So, what's your goals for the future?
Not being Pete's friend. We're going to take it to the next level. No. What we're doing, well, immediate future is install a show.
Okay, yeah.
We haven't talked about that.
We put a lot into that, don't we, every year? Try and make it better than the year before.
It's for me, it's our big thing of the year. So that's still very much for us all about the end user, so the installer, the plumber. We're not there selling anything. We're then doing what we do all year round, really. So we've got the pipe bending challenge that Pete still does. We did the head-to-head, which was a new twist we put in last year, didn't we? Yeah. The cap design, so we've got a new cap. You're all wearing the previous ones. So we've got a new cap for this year. What else are we doing this year? Oh, we've got the copper key rings. I don't know if that'll pick it up on the cam, but
so the idea behind this is I want everyone who visits the stand to get one. They can get their company name or their nickname or their initials hand printed onto this key ring, and then we just want to see them on people's van keys.
Proper in copper.
So it's solid. It's solid.
It should
copper.
last.
Where do they get them printed?
Huh? So we got a cobbler on our stand.
Good cobbler.
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 Copper cobbler.
What is that song? Cobble my shoe. Was it?
Don't give it a day job, Pete.
It was.
Obviously, yeah, we got the caps, which we're hoping is going to be like an institution every year. People want to see the new cap design and want to get the new
It's
cap.
getting harder.
Yeah.
To think of something that you can do.
Think about trying to write a gig.
Yeah.
And then we're promoting.
But we're successful at it, so.
And then we're promoting the new press fitting. So we
so the launch should be in full swing in June. Isn't it?
So there'll be press, bending,
cobbling,
the stuff we're giving out.
Probably
We've
all the
got-
stuff we've not remembered.
We can. This doesn't go out for a few days, does it? We can reveal the
Couple of
special
weeks,
special guest. So obviously last year
You're
we
doing
had
another exclusive.
Frank Bruno.
Yeah.
On the stand because we were working with his charity, raising money for his charity. So he came on and we did a photo op. So Rob was like, "We need to get another celebrity. We need to be better than last year. Who can we get?" Paul Gascoigne. 20 grand. Who else did you ask? It was
The guy with the smoking jacket that stands outside Super.
it was just too much money.
Oh, him. Yeah. I like him.
We were just losing it a little bit on. Just like social media, you don't want it to bomb. So we've got the stand. We're probably one of the busiest stands, if not the busiest stand at the show, and we're becoming a bit of a legend on it. And you're under pressure, you're under your own pressure, really.
Kieran will turn up as he celeb.
To make
They recognise him down in Whitstable, mate.
Come and do a podcast if you want. Yeah, you're going to be roving podcasters.
But we got so I wanted to do something funny because obviously tradespeople we're well known for like banter and having a bit of a laugh. So we've got David Brent and Gareth from The Office lookalikes.
Oh, I've seen them on the
to banter everyone on the stand and have a bit of fun and
It should be good.
That'd be all right, wouldn't it? That'd be fun.
Yeah. And then
He's good, that bloke. Is it the same bloke I'm thinking of? Like, probably if he's on quite a bit of social media.
He does a bit of magician.
probably
well, we had him at the Lawton offices last week and we've filmed some like
pre-filming.
promo bits.
Yeah.
And he is hilarious.
Yeah.
But the best thing about it is never watch The Office. So his face through all of these sketches is deadpan.
You don't
I don't think he even smiles through the
you
whole
ain't
thing.
watched The Office?
No, because I have watched The Office in bits, and they don't laugh, do they? Because it's meant
I've never heard of
it's
The
meant to
I
be
can't
awkward.
stop laughing.
Fuck off, Kieran.
I've never heard of The Office.
The Office, it's meant
Kids,
to be.
kids these days.
Is it not meant to be that he's awkward, the guy, and
Yeah,
people in
it's
office
cringe.
don't laugh because they don't find it? So I was in character,
It is,
mate.
isn't it?
You were just pissing himself.
You was in character.
I was in character, not laughing.
Are you that David Brent?
No, I was.
Are you
I
David
was
Brent?
the extra, mate. I was the extra, or the video guy. I was one of the two.
You're like, because you didn't realise what it's about. You
little
are
bit.
David Brent, ain't you? You know what I mean?
Am I?
Yeah, you don't realise. That's what it is. He don't realise,
Yeah.
right, that he is who he is.
Right.
And that's why
That worked then? Did it work? He was wetting himself.
And he's standing here going, I don't get this. I don't understand.
Some of it did. Some of it was funny. But it's all right.
But yeah, so we're hoping, because Rob puts a lot of effort into planning it, and you will tell, leading up to it, he's so stressed, he's under so much pressure, he doesn't enjoy it until we're sort of halfway through and everything's going like we planned.
I even get stressed when you leave the stand for a wee.
Yeah, if I go to the toilet, I'll get a text. Where
I'm
are
putting
you?
a Portaloo on the stand this year.
Yeah.
We got you got beers on the stand.
No, see, I'm not a big advocate of alcohol for the show because
Well, even though you can like make it go through copper pipes to like,
We have
I have
got.
a cousin who does do brewery.
We've got a barista
oh right.
making. This is another one of my marketing genius ideas. Cappuccinos.
I like that. Cappuccinos.
Come and get a
Took him a long
cappuccino
time.
at the
Oh,
Lawton
yeah.
stand.
Took him a long time coming.
Yeah. God, you should have worked for a newspaper.
Is it gonna have like? Have you got like a? What's the
Stencil.
chocolate gonna be? Yeah, the stencil.
Yeah, hopefully.
Oh yeah, it could be your little face in the top of everybody's.
You're drinking me.
Yeah. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Oh, sounds
That was a conversation killer, wasn't it?
sounds like it's
So
gonna
we've
be
got
good.
that.
Kissing Rob.
Can we get back to more serious stuff? So, also this year, first time ever, we're installing. They're doing so much more stuff. All good, you know. Some of it's we could say it's mainly good. Pitched all some good ideas, but we're sponsoring Installer Futures. And what's that about? That's on the last day, isn't it? Third day?
Student day.
And it's basically when students come to the show, which I think is important because they get to see innovative new products. They get to understand a bit more about what they're going to be doing. I think it's a great day. Lots of freebies as well. You see them all with the plastic tubs as they walk off. On our stand, Pete's going to be doing a pipe bending challenge, and the colleges are going to go head to head. And then we're going to do the final.
It's going to be a knockout tournament, basically.
Yeah, knockout
so
tournament.
colleges against colleges, and then the final two will go over to the main plaza, do it on there, and then we'll give them some prizes. So
Final two colleges.
the two out of the tournament, so it'll be
I think
like
it's final
a
6, isn't it? Or
no,
we
it'll be the final
still
two.
working it out. No, I thought it was final 6.
Well, you got so you got colleges against each other. What you got people against each other as well.
No, so people from students from the
Oh,
college.
students from the college, right?
So
So
it'll be head
you
to
get
head,
it, yeah.
and then there'll be two left in the final, and then we'll go over.
So we're just trying to encourage the next generation would be plumbers and gas engineers to come and relax, but do something that actually subliminally is important to do, which is obviously use copper.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of fun. What else are we doing? We'll be doing the social. So it's first year. Pointy's managed to get me to sponsor. Not for want of trying in previous years. So I'm putting some cash into that part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe not now because you maybe not doing.
No. Listen, it'll be.
It'll still be really good.
It'll be different. I just wanted to put a different like.
You can't keep doing the same thing.
Nah, you got to like
Gotta
switch
mix
it
it
up a
up.
bit. I thought it'd be better if we did this, brought it to the thing. Like it's just different because you get like people who's not going
You
to
need
want
to
see
engage
me,
with who's there. That
and you
maybe
want
get
to
people
engage
onto
more of
it.
the audience instead of just some geezer being up on stage. And we can get a number of people to come up here.
So
and
you're going to
sit
do
there.
a podcast at 9 o'clock at night when the football's been on and everyone's had a few free beers.
It'd be a bit at 8, 9 o'clook. Yeah, it'd be
My
a laugh,
God.
wouldn't it?
It's going to be a
Imagine.
bit uncensored, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it'd be great. Wouldn't it be great?
I won't be coming on it
Why not?
because I don't drink.
Oh yeah. Don't drink at all.
No, I do drink. I do.
You don't, do you?
I don't,
Body's a temper.
but I've never drank. So,
Never,
Even when you're little.
ever.
as in, like, never been into drinking. I've drank,
Yeah.
but I'm not. I've never been like, oh, I really fancy beer.
Have you ever been drunk?
Yeah.
Did you what often or?
Not often, no.
He appears drunk when he comes around my warehouse and sees all that copper everywhere.
So when I drink, I'll probably one and a half drinks. I'll feel like I'm pissed.
Yeah.
And then I don't get any worse.
I feel like that as well, but
So
I
can
just
just
carry
carry on drinking. But it doesn't. I don't get any worse. So like, say 2 pints of Guinness.
Yeah.
I'll feel pissed.
Yeah.
And I can drink.
because your tolerance will be really low.
I think I drank 11 pints of Guinness and blackcurrant one night, and just
Yeah.
just because we were just there and they just kept coming.
yeah.
But I didn't feel it didn't get progressively worse.
Really?
Wine?
He didn't realise he ended up in the park in the pond with no clothes.
No,
on.
literally
He forgot to mention that bit.
I was the
I was all right,
same.
though.
This happened to me twice. I was the same. The more I drank, just didn't get any worse until when I got home and lay in bed.
Yeah.
And the room was doing that. Wine, half a glass. I'm out of it.
I'm
giggling
squiffy. Yeah,
mess.
squiffy after a glass of wine.
See, this is why I don't do booze on our stand.
I just wouldn't want the hangover
No, it's horrible. I hate hangovers.
because I'll feel like I'm going to lose a day of
Yeah.
where I could be
Well,
making.
you can power through hangovers. You can do it.
Not as you get older, mate.
Yeah, you can.
you
I'm
can't.
44 now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I thought you were older.
I can still power through them if I
I thought you
need
were
to.
like mid
It
50s.
looks older, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'll have a day
Bad-
off, mate, would ya?
Bad paper around. Cat makes you look young.
My whole
Just keep it.
the way I think is all about progress. So if it doesn't get me progress in my goal, then I normally won't do it.
Yeah.
Drinking doesn't help me progress to my goal.
Fair
So.
enough, isn't it? Yeah, it's not a good thing drinking. I'm not promoting it on here.
But I would drink if I'm going, say you're going to someone's stag do
Yeah.
weekend away, I would drink. I wouldn't not drink, but just regularly. I don't get home from work
No.
and think I fancy a beer.
No.
Yeah.
If I was just going out on a random like installer show, I just probably wouldn't drink because I got
Yeah.
work the next day on the stand.
Yeah, it's not
Oh,
professional.
No, you know, some of them are pitch and go out on the stand the next day, don't they?
Yeah.
See, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to have someone promote my product or what I want to achieve, and as Pete says, a lot of time and effort goes into it. Yeah, you can let your hair down, but you've got to be in moderation in it because you got to work. It's not easy standing on a stage. People think it's
hard work.
it
doing
is.
days, yeah.
People think,
Ain't
oh,
easy.
It's tiring.
I do a lot of exhibitions all over the world for various different things, and it's bloody hard work. You're standing still or you're on your feet all day, and I'm not used to standing on my feet all day. I'm used to an office chair and all the rest of it, but 8 hours on your feet and you're constantly talking. I know that's not normally a problem for me, but you need a pee. You get dehydrated because you don't get the chance to have a drink. You don't get moments to yourself.
Do you know what the thing I think it is?
What?
Constantly repeating yourself and saying the same thing, because you get one guy come up to you and you tell him whatever you've told him.
Yeah.
He goes, the next guy come, you've got to tell him the exact same thing, and then you've got to keep doing it all day. It's just mentally
How do you
tiring.
cope with people, because you're on the internet, and the same with your social media, they feel they know you. And they turn like, all right, Pete, how you doing?
Yeah.
And they're expecting you to like instantly remember who they are and the chat that you had at some point. How do you manage that? Or don't you? Or you just try and stay professional and go with it? I find it really difficult to try. I desperately try to remember everybody I talk to, but
It's
and
impossible.
I haven't got many followers.
But you'll
But
get people like I know a lot of people go they go I follow you on like Instagram. Oh, I love your videos, mate. Blah blah blah. Right, and then some people will turn around and they'll act like this way. They'll say, "Oh, that's like, I'm only a plumber." But I don't think you should do that now. I've sort of like changed my opinion of that, because the more followers you get, the more recognised you're going to get, especially at events like Installer. So when people go, "Oh, you're a legend," and things like, because you'll get it. Do you know what I
Have
mean?
you ever had discount off food though?
Yeah.
He won't
He got
Say that
recognised
about-
once at a restaurant in Whitstable, and he won't
off the
stop
job,
banging
yeah.
about it.
Gave me a discount off
They
food. I was
they
like, what the
recognised
hell?
him from this. Like this, our only subscriber.
I'm trying to think. I got a guy came up to me at I went to see Man U Newcastle in Newcastle, and a guy came up to me in the stadium. The best one was I was with Unequalled Heating, Tony Dumble, and I think it was Ryan Mills in a Premier Inn having breakfast.
Yeah.
In where were we? We'd gone to Wilo Pumps, wherever they're based. And a guy came up to me with those two and just said hello to me, which was great because they were both like. But yeah, obviously, if you're in a place with a load of plumbers, you're gonna have a lot of people know who you are.
I just think so people say that, I'll go, "Oh no, thanks, mate. Cheers for that." Because I think if you sort of like, you shouldn't just like embrace it, because I used to be a little bit, because you think you're being modest. Not like, it's not saying that we're fucking famous or anything like, but you will get people recognise you. So I was out in Kent the other week in Westgate. I only went to the garage to get some diesel. Geezer obviously recognised my van first before me. And he goes, you're Plumber Townsend. And I'm like, yeah, all right, mate. And I had a little bit of a conversation with him on the forecourt of the garage. I got back in the van. My missus goes, don't tell me that geezer just recognised you from your Instagram stuff. And I was like, yeah. She went, oh, he was so cute. He was so cute. I was like, all right.
How did that make you feel? Did you like that? Or
Yeah, I don't mind it because, like, I think it's nice because some people, they watch you and they hold you in high regard, don't they? Because sometimes you make a difference to people's lives, whether you like it or not. They might be having a shit day and they'll watch one of your videos or you'll do something that cheers them up, and that means a lot to them, innit? So turning round to them and saying something like, oh, I'm only a plumber, mate. No. You're basically saying, what are you making this such a big thing for? But to them, sometimes it can be, can't it? You know what I mean? I'm not saying like we're celebrities or anything, but you do get noticed a lot, and some people do like hold you in a high regard. So like embrace it, innit? I think
it does go to some people's heads, though, doesn't it? I think.
Oh yeah. You see it. It's like I know. I don't know. I wouldn't name anyone, but there is a few out there that think.
So do you think there's a lot of pressure for people now on, because social media's become, I wouldn't say it's become a new thing, it's been around for a while, but do you think there's a lot of pressure now for anybody either entering into social media because they've now switched on and they're maybe going through that journey of becoming a plumber?
I think it's like anything. When you start anything like this, like
Depends what you want from it.
Yeah, it
doesn't
depends
I
what you want
suppose?
from it. Number one, but if you're doing it like me and Pete do totally different content, and I do it different reason for he does it for a different reason. But I think whenever you start something new, then people will be like, do you know what I mean? Did you ever get that when you first started? Did people say like, what are you doing that for? Shit like that? Or...
Not really, because when I started doing it, the only other person that was really doing social media like plumbing was Plumber Parts, and he was just doing YouTube.
Yeah.
So mine was different to his, but because it is so accessible now and there's so many people doing it, there's a lot. In my personal opinion, anyone can do anything they want. It's a big place.
Yeah.
People can do the exact same videos as me. I don't care. They're not copying me because we all do the same job.
Yeah.
But for some people, if they did a video and then someone else did a video within a couple of days, they'd be like, he's copying me.
Yeah.
And everyone, like you say, everyone does it for different reasons.
Yeah.
I like teaching people stuff. I like promoting the industry, and I choose very few paid partnerships. So I'm not a big like advert machine.
Yeah.
Some people do it because they want to make money. Fair enough.
Yeah.
If that buys them a bigger house for the family or gets them to go on a nice holiday with the kids, absolutely crack on. Doesn't mean I want to do that.
No.
Doesn't mean you want to do that. Everyone's different, and that's what makes the world go round. So do what you want. If you don't, the beauty of social media, if you don't like what someone's doing,
Don't watch them.
unfollow them
Yeah.
or just mute them.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go to the extreme of unfollowing them. Just mute them, then you won't see it.
Yeah.
Have you started in LinkedIn yet?
No.
See,
That's-
I'm seeing a lot of...
I know that's out. That's been out years as well. Isn't it?
Yeah, but
LinkedIn?
for me, for our business, I see it's more business to business. So it's my customer base, if you like. But I'm seeing more and more installers entering onto LinkedIn because it's a great avenue for you as the plumber to be able to get in touch with individuals within the company. So like say my company,
Yeah.
quite a lot of senior staff and less senior staff, but there's probably a lot of them have got a PC or a computer at work will be on LinkedIn for various different reasons, mainly to promote the business. But you can connect with them and without having to pry into their personal life, you can message each other And I think it's a good thing for installers to get into. What a lot of businesses don't do is understand what each social media platform is going to do to benefit that person or that company. So some companies put out the same content on every platform.
Yeah.
What I do is Instagram is more to engage with you guys and installers. I use LinkedIn more for business to business. But I am seeing a sort of transition for people moving on to LinkedIn, and it's more of a serious thing because it's you want to promote yourself.
You on LinkedIn?
Yeah, a lot of it's work related rather than posting your daily life.
But I think as a influential people that you are, it's a good way of getting yourself connected with the next corporate event that you're going to be doing with the next business. People will start knowing who you are because they're not necessarily on Instagram. It's more the
you've got a
plumbers
video of your corporate gig, haven't you? You want to put up?
No, I have
You can join LinkedIn and post.
No, I've not.
Post that. I like it for you,
We
Pete.
burnt that.
No one's got a copy of that.
That was. We didn't. We skipped off the subject. So is your nephew going to work for you?
Well, he's expressed interest in it, but you know,
How old is he?
He's 14.
Right.
So
Got a couple of years to go.
yeah, but you know, he might want to be a.
And how good do you think you're gonna? Are you gonna be like your dad?
I've
Has
always-
he
I've
been
al-
on? Has he worked? Has he come to
No,
work?
no, but I've already imagined him winning like a world skills plumbing competition.
So the pressure's on him, isn't it, that to be as good as you?
Yeah, you're going to be like that dad who footballer who wants his boy to be like the top. Come on, bend it right. Put it in the bender different.
He'll be giving him homework. to
He'll
go home with.
be in the copper. He'll be in the copper challenges at installer in the head-to-heads. If you don't make it to the plaza,
You're
right,
sacked.
you ain't getting paid this week. But no, it's
I
good
hope
though,
he does,
isn't it?
but we'll see. We'll see.
It'd be good though, wouldn't it?
Pressure on both of you, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, like you say, it's whether or not you want him to go into plumbing, whether or not.
See, the thing with me is, and this is
Is he into
always,
social media?
he's got a YouTube channel where he does gaming clips. Yeah.
He did that airsoft thing, didn't he? He was gonna
Yeah, I
shoot
bought him
things.
an airsoft gun, so he was going to shoot a different thing every day and ask people what should I shoot next. That was his thing. But we'll see. I'm not going to pressure him.
No.
So it's totally up to him.
Yeah, that's what my dad did. He was third generation of the company. He became a chartered accountant in Birmingham, and he went straight into the family business. And he knows no any different. Bless him, he's 86 now. But he turned around and said to my generation, the fourth generation, so I work with my brother and my cousin, guys, you know, more welcome to come join the business, but go and cut your teeth on something. Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
So my brother went off to Iceland, the supermarket. He was a store manager, actually, in Birmingham. And he then joined the family business, and he's really good at purchasing and shrinkage because he's got that ability from being a store manager.
yeah.
I went off and did logistics, so I looked at third
It's
party.
really quite handy for ice creams, you know, is he?
Who? What?
brother.
Oh, Iceland. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, back in the day, maybe. Is that the one with the? No, it's not the slap your ass.
It is, isn't it?
No,
Mum's
that's
gone to
Asda.
Iceland.
Oh, Mum's going to Iceland. Yeah, that one. I was
Yeah.
thinking of Asda. That's when you do your.
As the price. Yeah.
Asda.
Oh, is it? I don't know. I can't
What was
remember.
her name? Linda Barker. Was it?
Something like that.
Oh, I can't remember now. You get me off the track now. Yeah, so I went off and did logistics, so I did nothing like that. But I learned the skill of being able to go into lots of different businesses at different levels and talk on different. So I'm quite good at talking.
You're good at talking,
Good
aren't
at
you?
talking. But I could talk at different levels. I think.
Yeah.
I try. Yeah, so we weren't pressured. I wasn't pressured to go in, and actually, I told my granny that I was going to be MD. I think it was only about 5. I want to be MD of the company. She said, as long as you don't change the colour of your hair. She didn't tell me it was going to fall out, but
Yeah,
it's not so copper now, is it?
going in it.
No, I need jumping. Do you remember Asterix and Obelix with the guy who jumps in the magic potion?
Yeah.
That's what I need to do. I need to jump in a copper bath, don't I?
I reckon so.
Yeah, then I could be proper copper man then, couldn't I?
Like Jack Nicholson.
Robbie's pacing around now.
Are you all right, Robbie? Oh, we got to go for lunch, have you? All right, we'll cut recording for you. Oh, we've been on an hour and 54 minutes.
He's got to change the
going, eh?
batteries in some of them cameras. Cause
So what do? Do you push this out for for 2-hour content. Can't
No, they
you?
normally do an hour, but you ain't shut up.
Yeah, we're going to cut a lot of you out, Rob, to be quite honest. No, not really.
It's going to be an invisible man talking.
So, yeah, it's you did say you could talk, and yes, you have indeed.
It's all fun though. It's
It
good.
was
Were you
fun.
bored at any point?
No, I hid the yawns.
Did you?
What would you say the split was? About 90% Rob, 10% me? About,
Well, you can do some more talking.
no,
if you
that's
want.
mate. It's all about you.
It's not about me.
We have guests on. He starts talking about himself,
Pete did quite a fair
Yeah.
bit of talking.
I do a little bit of talking, you know what I
acting
mean?
as if you were the guest.
Yeah.
What?
What else do you
When?
want to talk about?
They asked me a question. I asked
Mate,
the question.
we're not allowed to talk about anything else.
I think we've done most of it. College, you, social media.
Really? Do
Yeah.
you want to talk about anything else?
We talked about 100% research. Oh, the one thing we haven't talked about,
Yeah.
which we will put out. See, it's me again, isn't it? You can do this bit.
Let him do that bit. What bit
Go
is
on, you
it?
do a bit. 100% 100%
Yeah,
recycled
so
material.
obviously copper's a raw material, comes out the ground, but Lawton tubes, 15 to 28 mil, exclusively plumbing tube, is now 100% recycled. So none of that is raw material.
Yes, it's been a tube at some point or some other application, and now it's 100% from a recycled source, and it's 100% recyclable. So that'll be.
You could have bought some tube down with you.
Everyone probably might have thought. Did you think how
thought
much?
you might
No,
get a
we
bundle.
needed. I needed some.
Did
By
you?
doing a
Well, you
project
didn't say
next
anything,
week.
did you? That was
If I-
my fee, wasn't it?
It's all right. I've got Kev. He's going to give
have
me some stuff.
You want some square tube?
Nah.
We'll take that.
Yeah. This one.
So was that. What else did you talk about?
No, that's it now.
Yeah.
Say thanks for having us on.
And thanks for having us on.
No, yeah. Thank you for coming down. It's
Yeah,
been.
thank you very
I
much.
enjoy these
It's
things. It's a nice thing to do.
Where's your next college?
So
We're
where
meant to
are
be
we?
ending the conversation.
I'm just asking.
I'm joking.
We're at the end of May, aren't we? So you've got working term times, haven't you? So a lot of colleges are either doing exams or they're winding down for the end of term.
Yeah, we'll be all about installer show now.
Yeah. So we're focused on installer show, which is still obviously with students. We'll be back at colleges going from September. Try and do one a month. It's difficult because obviously we've all got work commitments as well.
Yeah.
It is work, but we'll have to do diaries for about 3 or 4 people.
1 or 2 a month. Sometimes we get 2 in a day. Depends where we go.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it's not. We're not doing it for reward or anything in terms of financial reward. We're doing it because we want to help encourage people to become plumbers and finish that course off. But as I said earlier, they've got to do more interaction with manufacturers. So we do 2 things. So I do one with Pete, where we do it in a workshop and with pipe bending, and it's all very practical. But I also do another one which is less. We don't really publicise it as much yet. Maybe I ought to. Is to talk about sustainability. So the difference. So here's an interesting fact, which you probably won't think is interesting, but I'm going to fucking tell you anyway. Is
You all right, Rob?
little bit of plastic pipe, right? Melts at very low temperature.
Yeah.
Leaves a hole in a wall. Like, let's say a normal size bit of domestic. That melts. Say this room is full of smoke because it's on fire. The room next door's not. That pencil-sized hole will fill up within minutes with smoke,
Really?
just because of that size of the hole. Whereas copper doesn't melt until 1,000 degrees, so you've got
Right,
more
yeah,
chance
yeah,
of getting
yeah.
out of the building.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of talk about synthetic materials against natural materials.
Did you
If
like
we
that fact?
if we got out of the building now and left him here, he would keep reeling off facts until you physically
Robbie would die.
until you
he-
physically remove the microphone
he-
from in front of him.
he would- he
just
would-
keep on going.
He would die of Rob Lawton inhalation.
Well, I hope some of this has been
It's
entertaining,
educational.
interesting.
honestly,
It's
yeah.
educational as well,
That's
isn't
been
it?
I
good,
don't
yeah.
get as many opportunities as he says I talk a lot. I don't get as
Nah.
manufacturers don't get many opportunities to talk
No,
to
no.
people.
No, it's
or,
good.
Or have questions.
And a lot of people will want to know about that, being in the industry and that. the controversy.
we should put you in front of Baxy's next corporate evening.
Yeah.
You do.
Don't know
well.
whether it'll be a comedian though. Really,
Yeah.
is that what they want, or they just want me to tell them facts, fun facts, or
They
not
want,
fun
they
facts?
want you to. They
That's
want,
what you should
they'd
do on
rather
social
you-
media.
Let's put it this way: they'd rather you than me at the moment.
Fun facts about copper.
Well, it doesn't have to be about copper. Anything in life, really. But yeah, no, cool. Well, thanks
Yeah.
for having us.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very
for coming
much.
on.
Awesome, guys.
Yeah.
Do you want to wrap this up?
No, you can.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us again on Off the Job with Pete Booth, PB Plumber, and Rob Lawton.
Thanks for joining us, Guy. Lawton Tubes.
Copper Man.
The Copper Man.
And we'll see you for season 3.
Yeah.
And we're back on, right? I don't know.
Season 3, yeah.
And we'll see you at the installer first, mate.
Keep doing what you do, guys, because I mean, I think it's really good what you're doing.
Thank
We're
you.
trying.
Yeah.
Rob, we're trying.
It's one of the best podcasts that I've come across.
That's
Is
one
it?
I've been on.
Yeah.
Best one you've been on.
You know, don't have
It's the
much-
best one I've been on as well, to be
Is
quite
it?
honest. You know, like self-promotional, you know what I mean?
You should do something like this at the installer, you know.
Oh, do you reckon?
Yeah.
We've dealt with that, haven't we?
I think Pete's Radio.
Please stop.
no, I'm just checking. That's what we've done.
All right, this has been another episode of Off the Job podcast.
Thanks for watching the show on YouTube or listening on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, and all other streaming platforms.
If it's your first time watching or not, make sure to subscribe below and follow us on all the big social media stuff like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
For our overtime show on Monday, send us in your stories and comments for it to be read out on the show. Send it in via email, direct message through our social media accounts, or WhatsApp us on 07457 406 259.
And we'll see you on the next episode.